It's the close of day one in the inaugural World Fitness Project, and it really didn't disappoint. There was excitement, intrigue, athletes laid everything on the line, and the floor erupted in volume of crowds. It was everything that we wanted and more. So let's take a little look back at how it all went down.
Day one in the books. It is now time for day two, and maybe we'll see the standings flip on its head today, typically known as moving day on Saturday. Welcome into On the Pulse. I am Derek Forrest, and we are getting ready for an exciting day two of competition here at Tour Stop 1 of the World Fitness Project, just outside of Indianapolis, Indiana, here at the Grand Park Sports Complex. I've got a great team next to me all weekend long. Two-time Games champion Annie, Thor's daughter, two-time Games champion Katrin, David's daughter, and coach, and sent dozens of athletes to the CrossFit Games, and the co-founder of Jump Ship Training, Seth Page. Annie, you were just saying during the intro of that video that got you pumped up for the day. How are you feeling about day two?
Yeah, like you said, just watching the video, I'm getting excited, I'm getting fired up, my heart rate is starting to race, so I can imagine how the athletes are feeling. It is the hardest to start, like that's where you're the most nervous, but now they're settled in and now they're ready to fight. Moving day.
Yeah, the athletes are definitely going to be in the groove by now, and I think one of the most exciting things is that the leaderboard is not looking, I think, how everybody was expecting, and it's going to make for such a fun and exciting competition. And also, we've seen some athletes compete, some athletes that have not been competing, and so really, as much as we expected certain results, it's also so fun to see where everybody's at and what they're going to bring for today.
I think the first day built some very interesting storylines for the rest of the weekend. So I'm looking forward to diving into the leaderboard and talking a little bit more about those.
Yeah, and we're obviously going to dig into all of those things. But of course, it is a busy weekend and a busy day as well. You saw the schedule there on your screen, but let's take a look at it now once again. We've got two workouts today, and you're obviously going to see us on the Pulse 3 times today. Obviously, you're watching the pre-show. We're going to have the midday show and, of course, the post-show. But as you can see, we've got community activations all weekend long as well. HWPO is in town today doing something as well. There is your full schedule for Tour Stop number 1. As I was mentioning, we've got the pre-show, and then we've got 2 workouts today, a 2-parter later this afternoon that we will break down in the midday show, and then we'll obviously wrap things up with our post-show as well. But we want to start by talking about the volunteers. A lot of things wouldn't be happening here and getting things done without those, right? Everybody sees what happens in front of the camera with the athletes on the competition floor, but the volunteers really set the stage for what this weekend is all about. So we're gonna send it out to our adaptive athlete, Amy Bream, and she's got more on the volunteers and what they've been doing this weekend.
One of my favorite aspects of Tour Stop 1 so far has been meeting and interacting with all the volunteers. As cliche as it sounds, this event truly could not happen without these wonderful people giving not just their time, but their energy to help. Anyone who's worked in events before knows the days can feel long, and to show up time and again with a smile on their face no matter what is truly one of the most impressive parts of the competition. So on behalf of World Fitness Project, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
On behalf of the WFP, thank you.
All right, so you just saw that piece from Amy. Thank you very much. Annie, you've now been on both sides, the media side of it and as an athlete, and had to deal with the volunteers. Just how important is their role every weekend?
Honestly, like, yes, I've competed at a lot of competitions, and you don't realize how important they are until you actually host an event. And I hosted an event, and there I saw it is impossible without them. They are such an important part of the community. They're putting gear on the floor. They're helping set up the venue before the competition starts, athlete control, like you name it. And these people are there because they care. Like, it is the most incredible people that decide to volunteer for these events because they care about the event, they care about the athletes, and the athletes always feel that as well. So, thank you.
Yeah, there's usually hundreds of volunteers all weekend long during these competitions. And again, they add so much value even behind the scenes to what we do to make sure that we're putting on a good presentation as well. As for the weekend, or as for today, we've got 2 workouts set on the competition floor. You're going to see the challengers and the pros taking part. And as you can see, workout number 3 is going to begin in roughly 25 minutes or so. We've got short ones now the rest of the way. I think the longest workout we saw was yesterday morning, where it was a 24-minute time cap. And then we've got a 2-parter later this afternoon where we're going to see a heavy jerk. And then we've got some pushing some weight a little bit, and we're going to see maybe who the king and queens of the Echo Bike are. I know there was a lot of trash talking leading up to the week about that, so we'll definitely see what's going to go on there. But as for this weekend, right, coming into day 2, Seth, as a coach, how are you looking to prepare for the rest of this weekend?
Well, I would just continue to advise my athletes to stay focused on their part of their game. Not to panic yet. We'll talk more about how the points shake out later, but there's no sense to race the rest of the field. Maybe put your blinders on for one more day and try to run your own race, because the only time you're going to race to the finish is maybe you're finishing a particular workout, or it's the final day, you're in the last workout and you need to make a move. Other than that, just keep sticking to your game plan, and that would be my overall advice.
Annie, as an athlete, what is your mindset coming into day 2, especially if you've started out the weekend strong?
Yeah, well, it depends on how you started off the weekend. If you started out strong, you're going to be very fired up and you're going to be ready to go and hit it hard. And I think the adrenaline is going to carry, like, when you have a good momentum, you're going to ride on that high, right? And if you didn't have the best start, I was very often the athlete that didn't have the best start, but then it almost feels like the pressure is off a little bit. People haven't seen what I can do. Now I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like, it gives you that opportunity to get like a little bit mad, a little bit like more aggressive, and I actually really like that feeling. So I think being able to tap into that as an athlete.
Now, we're obviously going to talk about both perspectives later on in the show as well, but for an athlete who isn't necessarily performing well coming into day 2, what is their mindset, Katrin?
I think something that I worked very hard on with my coach, Ben Bergeron, was the term flipping the page. You gotta be able to flip the page. If you had a good day or a bad day, it's a clean slate today. I know the points carry over, but every single event is 100 points. We see the second event today as a 250-point event, but you always have the opportunity to go grab every single point that you can, and to keep that in mind and going out there and not carrying over disappointment from yesterday, and as Annie says, actually using it as fire, making yourself a little bit mad, taking that disappointment, if you're going to do anything with it, and using it for the day. So just remembering, it's a new day, there are new events, go get every single point that you can.
Yeah.
I just love, it's so easy to say these things. It's really hard to live by them as an athlete, but it is something that you need to get even if you're an experienced athlete, it's something that you need to continue to practice over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to feel frustrated too than to get fired up, and so it takes a special amount of experience and guidance to actually use that as fuel and not continue to have that weigh you down.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn the page now and start to look at today. And it is a little bit of a different schedule as what we saw yesterday. We still have the Women's Challenger followed by the Men's Challenger, but now we will have the Men's Pro go before the Women's Pro. So that will be the order of events today, and that's how we're going to kind of take a look at it today on the show as well. So let's begin with the Women's Challenger. Kat, for you, you're looking at several women who are right now at the top of the leaderboard. Jennifer Moore comes into the day sitting in the top spot. She took a first and second yesterday. Miley Wade sits in second with a sixth and first place. Katrin Anapolsky is in third, Janie Chevry in fourth, and then Nortje Bleeker sitting in fifth.
I think the one that stands out to me most, obviously, is Jennifer Muir. She is an experienced competitor. She is an experienced competitor on the highest stage or the highest level in this sport, but she is one of those athletes that is now competing for the third weekend in a row. She competed at Wildland, she competed on the online semifinals, and this is her third weekend, and we were excited to see how that would play out. And it doesn't look like she's fatigued. It actually looked like this has sharpened her skill set and built her confidence, and she's competing extremely well. And the other one I am so excited about is Miley Wade. She is so young, and I love that even competing against these experienced competitors, she's rising to it. She's competing, and she is somebody that I think has a long future ahead of her in this sport.
I want to follow up with that. Is there intimidation for someone like Miley, so young, competing against such a talented field?
I would think so. I really would. And that's just from my personal experience of how I felt when I first started competing. But she is really surprising me. She's performing well, and there's something to be said about her winning the second workout of yesterday. She's not just doing well and performing consistently at the top. She went out and she grabbed that win yesterday. And with that, I actually feel like she's saying, like, no, I'm here to compete.
Yeah.
On the Men Challenger side of things, we've got a couple of youngsters as well sitting in the top five. Benoit Boulanger, though, is your leader after day one. Sitting in second is Ty Jenkins, the 19-year-old, finished in second and in fourth in the first two workouts. Matt Gilpin in third. Tudor Magda sitting in fourth, 22 years old, but he's started as a youngster and is now kind of rising through the top here. And then sitting in fifth is Julius Kaiser. Seth, what are you looking for on day two out of the men? There
is a lot to go through on this leaderboard, so I will try to keep it brief. Ty Jenkins, maybe the most balanced athlete, even though he's one of the younger ones. He's been tested at the teen games level, and he's done very, very well. Gilpin, another one who's kind of on the come up. But we have to look at some of the past games individuals who are actually underperforming so far. Even though Tudor Magda's been there, fourth place, not bad, but you might want to see him have a little more breakout performance. I know he's a stronger athlete, so he might have some success today. But the big one that jumps out at me, Jack Farlow, dead last. Past individual CrossFit Games athlete, so maybe he has something going on that's impacting his performance. Maybe he's a little underprepared, but today we'll see what the story is, because he has an opportunity to possibly win Part A and B if he's feeling 100%.
All right, on the men's side of things, switching to the men's pro division, we've got Jay Crouch sitting in the top spot on the men's side of things, followed by Jeffrey Adler, who's making a rise, finished in first workout, sixth in pro workout 2. Justin Madero sitting in third, Ashley Hatfield in fourth, and then Jason Hopper sitting in fifth. Annie, though, for you, when you look at the pro men, what are you looking at for day two?
Well, I don't think any one of us would have guessed Jay Crouch in first place, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do for the rest of the weekend. I have a feeling he's going to carry this momentum. Jeffrey Adler, we were all expecting him to be pretty high, and I think, like we all said yesterday with Justin Medeiros, I think we're starting to see him back on his A game here. So I think he stands a chance of staying in top 3 and even climbing up. And then we have Dallin, Hopper, and Sprague all under Brood. They're all right there, right next to each other. They're like these competitors that I think a lot of them are going to excel in the events that are coming up today, where we got strength and speed.
I think something that's definitely a surprise is somebody like Ricky Garrard, who we would have expected to be higher up on the leaderboard. We have heard that maybe has a flu or is under the weather, which would explain the performances, because especially in the running event, you would have thought that would have been his event, like he can run, and I thought he would give Adler a run for his money on that one. And then Pat Lellner, I don't want to say like surprised, not surprised. I'm always surprised to see him not towards the top of the leaderboard, but he is known for having slow starts. So maybe this is not a surprise. Maybe he's going just according to plan, and he will be working his way up the leaderboard, I believe.
I think the tests today are also dramatically different than the tests yesterday.
Yeah.
So we may see a big shift in the leaderboard overall. We got to remember, it's only 2 of 6 workouts that are done, equal amount of points today as there was yesterday. So just expect the unexpected with that leaderboard shift.
Seth, I wanted to ask you about Luka Jukic sitting in 9th place. Didn't he call a shot earlier this week of coming into this competition?
Yeah, on social media he's been quite vocal about taking a stand and making his performance known here. And top 10 after even just 2 events is against this field is, I mean, he's following through with his word so far.
Yeah, so far it's been exciting on both the men's and the women's. Let's now transition to the women's leaderboard as well and take a look at that competition. This one is completely outstanding so far. Danielle Brandon is leading that one. She sits in first after a 4th place and 3rd place finish on day 1. Ariel Lowen, she continues to be totally impressive in the space. She's in 2nd place right now. Amy Kringle in 3rd. Lucy Campbell is 4th. And Alex Kazan is sitting in 5th. Seth, why don't you kick things off for the women? What are you looking for in day 2?
Well, I'll be interested to see if Danielle can hold her top spot. We've seen some really, really strong performances from her, and we've seen some that have been lacking over many competitions over the past. So if she's kind of hitting her peak or her stride right now, she could end up continuing to hold one of those top 3 slots across the weekend. And of course, there are some people that I'll let you guys talk about further down the leaderboard that are quite shocking, but again, not too late to start making a big move today.
Yeah, I think the one that is the most obvious to everybody is not seeing Laura Horvath in that top 10, and it's definitely a position that she does not know. She does not know. Even, I think, for her having a bad day, you still kind of would have expected her to sit in that top 10 and have an easier time fighting her way back up. But at the same time, knowing the events that are coming up and knowing how she is, I know this is only going to make her frustrated or angry, which I think is a very dangerous Laura. And knowing, just looking at the events for today, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe more than 1 win today from her, and really making it known and taking that stance of like, no, I'm here to compete and I will show you guys what I'm capable of.
I definitely think we can say that, because even though she is not in top 10, she had an incredible start to the competition. Yes, she was failing snatches, got a no rep, but we were seeing a Laura that has improved her running significantly and is in peak shape. Little bit surprised with the 2nd event, but hopefully she is ready to go. And I think, like you said, angry Laura is a dangerous Laura.
The only thing I'll add to that, though, is that she does have a mountain to climb with a 1/3 of the points in, with the ladies that are near the top are just so consistent in every event.
Yes.
So even if Laura wins a few events, she's going to need some help from the ladies at the top to not do so well, so she can start to move up. So that's out of her control, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
On the flip side, what about someone like Danielle Brandon, who's sitting atop the leaderboard right now going into day 2? How impressive has that been, and where do you kind of predict her to finish at the end of the weekend?
Well, honestly, I wasn't expecting her to do so well in the events yesterday. I think we have some good events that are also coming up for her. So, like you said, she now has it to lose it. Yes, we're going to see some performances maybe that are not going to be in the top 5, but she is very well rounded and might be able to stay in the top 10, and who knows if then she's going to be able to hold on.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a position that she has not been in. She has not been leading a major competition against this kind of caliber of competitors before. And it is always exciting to see how an athlete responds. Is she able to just stay in the moment, stay focused on the workouts at hand, and continue to perform like she's doing? Or does it add that extra layer of pressure where maybe it kind of, Annie alluded to it before, where kind of like if you mess up on the first day, it kind of takes pressure off of like, do you then have a bad event so that you can perform well again without the pressure? But it's something that we have not seen her in this position. It's going to be very exciting to see how she responds to it.
I want to ask Seth about someone who's sitting in 4th place right now, Lucy Campbell. What are you seeing out of her? And she's coming off of competing not too long ago as well. And here she is sitting in the top 5.
Well, like you said, she's been competing. She's competed several times already this year, and she's won multiple competitions. So it seems like she's kind of built for this at this point. She had some time off in previous seasons with injuries. It seems like she's taken the time and taken the steps she needs to get herself healthy. And a healthy Lucy Campbell is quite dangerous, apparently. So I don't expect anything to slow down from her across the weekend.
Yeah, it'll certainly be a very fun day, too, on the women's side as well, as we anticipate the competition starting in roughly 15 minutes or so. But we want to move on to workout number 3. This one, we're going to see plenty of gymnastics. They're going to be on the rig, but they're going to have to break it up with some moderately heavy front squats. So it should be pretty interesting. Pro workout number 3 is presented by Velitas. Pro 3 is 6 rounds for time. Each round starts on the pull-up bar with athletes performing 8 pull-ups, 6 chest-to-bar pull-ups, and 4 bar muscle-ups. Following the work on the pull-up bar, athletes, they're going to advance to the floor for a set of front squats. In rounds 1 through 4, athletes will do 8 front squats and advance their bar forward after each round. In round 5, athletes will do 6 front squats at a heavier weight on the far side of the floor, advance their bar forward, and add weight. In round 6, athletes, they're going to do 4 front squats at an even heavier weight. And then after the final front squats, athletes will drop the bar, jump over it, cross the finish line. There is a 10-minute time cap for workout 3. So Seth, when you're looking at this workout as a coach, how are you breaking this one down for your athlete?
As always, from a coach's perspective, you have to look at the athlete's skills, right? So where their strengths and weaknesses lie. So some of them may be breaking up the gymnastics a little more intentionally. Some of them may be, taking their time waiting for the barbell because they know they can push that. Some of them may be a little gun shy on the barbell. So it just depends. Every athlete's going to have their own strategy on this, but it is a short workout, so they'll have to find their places they can push and where they can recover.
All right, we want to go into our Kat's corner here in just a little bit, but also big week for Kat. Not only is she did she just announce that she's a new mom, but also today is her birthday.
Happy
So-
birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. I thought I was going to have to make that announcement myself.
No. I got to take control on that one. But as we look ahead at Kat's corner and what the athletes are going to do, what do you have?
So for today, we've gone over this a couple times today, but Saturday is moving day. And as much as I know Saturday is typically during a 4-day competition, many more events, it is still a third of the competition. And there are so many points up for grabs. And so hoping that every single athlete goes into today knowing that, and knowing that they can make their shifts and they can make major moves up or down the leaderboard. So also keeping that in mind of needing to keep the foot on that gas pedal. And so looking at today's workout, it is very gymnastics heavy mixed in with some barbell. And so I do think the best gymnasts will win, but they also have to have the squatting strength in their toolbox. And so very consistent CrossFit athletes are going to be on top of the leaderboard after this workout, but I also believe that we'll have some specialty athletes, the ones that are, and we'll go over more in depth who those athletes are, because there's many athletes that meet that criteria, which is going to be fun for them to be able to go out and really showcase their skill set today. So I really think it's going to come down to who is great on the bar and can do that, perform that gymnastics complex well. And I think breaking that up a little bit is not going to be too costly, because you can very easily hop down, shake out their arms, release that tension, and it's only 2 or 3 seconds before you're back up on the bar. But on the other hand, we have the squats. And if you drop that barbell, you're gonna have to re-clean that back up, regain tension, and continue on, which I think can be a 10 to 15 second break before you're moving on with that. So I think keeping that in mind, keeping the squats unbroken, also knowing that that is going to get, you're going to be under tension that whole time, which will impact the gymnastics complex again. So I think it's a very fine line of transitioning fast and holding on, and also being very smart at knowing when to break and making those breaks very quick.
Annie, what do you have perspective-wise from an athlete on this one?
Yeah, like, well, going off of what Kat was saying, like in this workout, you're just under tension the whole time. We say this is a short workout. It is. It's gonna hurt a lot this workout because it's gonna be like a different stimulus than we've been testing in the other workouts, but because you're gonna be using that upper body pull, you're gonna be using the upper body, and then you're gonna be using the upper body holding that front rack to be able to move efficiently. So this is going to be a very painful one and very fun for the audience to watch, because I honestly think you can get to failure in this workout.
I don't want to give away my pick quite yet, but I will just say this. Size matters in this event. And I don't mean that as a big athlete's going to have an advantage, but quite the opposite. So less range of motion on the squat if you're a little shorter, easier to move the bar, and less range of motion on the pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, things like that with shorter arms. So look out for the shorter stature athletes that are also good gymnasts to have an excellent event here.
All right, I guess it's time for our picks now as we get set to see pro workout number 3 on the competition floor. I'm gonna go first, and I know he's a little bit under the weather, but I'm calling this one his flu game like Michael Jordan had back in the early 90s. So I'm gonna go Ricky Garrard in this one.
I am going to go with Victor Hofer. I want to give him credit for how incredible he is at gymnastics. He's so high skilled, and he's got an extremely strong squat. So I'm just hoping his endurance and aggressiveness will carry through here. Let's go, Victor.
I'm going to go with Adler. I think he is in a traditional kind of couplet workout. He is so strong at the gymnastics movements, and he also has squatting power. Honestly, it was a tough pick, but I am going to go with Adler today. He's not occupying that top spot. I think it frustrates him, and I think we'll see a great showing from him on this workout.
Well, yesterday in his interview, Colton said he wants to create chaos like a wrecking ball. I'm taking Colton today. This is going to be his moment to come out. He's probably going to hang on to both the gymnastics bar and the barbell more so than maybe recommended, and he likes to take chances like that to make a scene. So,
all right, on the women's side, Seth, who are you taking?
Annika Greer. This workout reminds me a little bit of the open workout with the thrusters and the gymnastics in there. She was something like 3rd in the world on that, and we know that she has the skills and the strength to do really well here.
I am going to follow up on an earlier conversation that an angry Laura is a dangerous Laura, and she has upper body pulling and stamina like nobody else in the sport. She's a rock climber, that's her background. And just knowing, or not that I know, but I think she's in a state where she wants to show people, and so I think I'm going to put her in my pick here.
I'm throwing up Ariel Lowen. She just keeps on impressing me, and I don't think she's going to let me down here. She's got a very strong squad, and she's so efficient on gymnastics, and she's in an incredible shape.
I stole Lanny's pick, and I went with Ariel Lowen as well. But after day 1, where it was probably a little bit of a surprise on what she was able to do in those workouts, I think she continues that momentum going into day number 2, and we'll see how things will shape up in the top 10 for both the men and the women. But it is almost time for Pro Challenger 3. The challengers will hit the floor for the very first workout. We were going to send it over to Jeremy Austin, Tommy Marquez, and Gabby Magawa in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for that workout. We will see you on the Pulse live later this afternoon.
Seconds. That's the margin. Strivey shows me the work and what it means. The difference? It's in the data. World class isn't a title, it's a habit. Competing against the best isn't about training harder, it's about tracking smarter.
Kazan for the win. 425 is good, and she takes home the event victory.
Log the work, feel the difference, see the results. Strivey, train smarter.
The more we pause and stretch, the faster we move. The longer we hold, the more resilient we get. The lighter we feel, the stronger we become. The deeper we dig, the harder we hit. The higher we reach, the more unbeatable we are. Because when we stop, recover, and reset, the better we jump, climb, sprint, and leave it all on the field. When we move with pliability, we move more human.
Position number 142.
the close of day one in the inaugural World Fitness Project, and it really didn't disappoint. There was excitement, intrigue, athletes laid everything on the line, and the floor erupted in a volume of crowds. It was everything that we wanted and more. So let's take a little look back at how it all went down.
Hello and welcome everybody. Day 2 action of tour stop number 1 for the World Fitness Project here in Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. Jeremy Austin and Tommy Marquez with you. We had a remarkable day yesterday. There was so much going on and so much drama. I just can't encapsulate what I'm feeling about yesterday. I'm just hoping it continues on for the next 2 days.
Well, it certainly lived up to the billing of the racing capital of the world because we had some amazing races right from the outset, some awesome finishes even in the longer event. And then we dialed it down a little bit with a faster, shorter event that, again, provided some amazing finishes. So now that we're getting into the meat of the weekend, I just can't wait to see how we build upon that after an exciting day 1.
I don't know about dialing it back for number 2,
yeah, that's
but
good point.
It increased intensity a fair bit, and we saw some results we probably didn't expect to see, including great results from Jay Crouch and Daniel Brandon in particular.
No doubt, and both of them were incredibly consistent, not necessarily winning events that you might have picked them on the outset, but that's the best part about this sport, right? You see some of these elite athletes and you have such a dense field talent-wise. Some athletes rise to the occasion, really surprise you, and it sets them up nicely for the rest of the weekend. And for the ones that don't, you know, it's just another setup for a potential great comeback and another storyline.
The middle day today, generally moving day where athletes can really cement themselves and put themselves on a leaderboard in a good position to finish up for day number 3.
Yeah, and I'm just excited to see some of the tests that are coming out today. You know, like we talk about Saturday moving day, setting up the final day, but I just love seeing more of the top athletes throwing down in competition, and that's really what the fans of the sport just want to see.
The fans are going to get plenty to see today. Our schedule absolutely jam-packed. Derek leading the team with Kat, Annie and Seth for the On the Pulse live show. They'll be back at midday today, and we're going to get to Pro and Challenger 3 coming up, and then we've got 4A and 4B to get through before we get On the Pulse in the middle of the day, and they're going to wrap things up at the end of the day as well.
No doubt. If you haven't already, definitely stay tuned for those On the Pulse live shows. Get some awesome analysis from the daughters and Seth. So it's great to have this full comprehensive coverage plan, and it feels like we're doing it right.
Barbells loaded on the floor. And we're going to get started with our Challenger division to start things off. Some up-and-comers, the on-the-bubble athletes that want to get in and get a pro spot and a pro card for 2026. This is their chance to really cement themselves.
No doubt, and it accomplishes a couple of things, right? For some of the athletes that maybe are trying to break through to that upper echelon, it gives them live competition experience to continue to develop, right? Almost like a farm system for a lot of the American sports that you see. But at the same time, it still counts towards something. They're still competing for points that actually factor into the overall season standings as far as earning that pro card is concerned. So you give them the opportunity to develop, and it still matters for them, very much so. That's the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Jennifer Muir, great positioning for her, a second and a first in day 1. You can't really ask for a better event result when you're thinking about going through a very long workout number 1, going to a shorter workout number 2, and she's still sitting pretty. 195 points, and really leading the charge for the Challenger women.
No doubt, and she is one of the more experienced athletes in this Challenger women's field as far as competing as an individual at a high level, and so far she's just shown it, coming across the pond and really performing at a high level. And she's being chased by some young athletes like Miley Wade, the youngest in the field at just 17 years old. It's a nice mixture in this Challenger division. I think it really highlights the full breadth of talent that we have here at Tour Stop 1.
Athletes not too far away from coming out onto the competition floor for the first time today. Crowd building. And after a working day yesterday on Friday, expect a few more people to wander on down. No doubt there's been a lot of people tuning into the broadcast, seeing what is actually happening here at the World Fitness Project. And it's been an exciting spectacle so far as our first heat of the Challenger women start their way onto the competition floor. Grace Lochner, one of those latecomers with that backfill, only getting the invite on Wednesday night, driving herself up here from Tennessee. And a great job from her yesterday.
No doubt. I mean, not necessarily the comp prep that most people are used to, but you know, that was something that the WFP executive team was very open and honest about. They wanted to make sure, hey, athletes know that we're going to make every effort to give backfill opportunities to athletes to compete. So if you're on that cut line, even coming into the final days leading up to this event, hey, stay ready, you'll have a chance.
Our lane assignments for the first of our Challenger heats. Grace Lochner sitting there in the middle of the arena. And a tough one to start things off. This is Challenger 3, presented by Velitas.
A beautiful mixture of upper body pulling gymnastics and barbell work. You can have 8-6-4 with pull-ups, chest to bar pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, that's skill increasing, and then coupled with some front squats in rounds 1 through 4. You're going to do 8 front squats. In rounds 5, you're going to do 6. In round 6, you're going to do 4, with the weight of those front squats increasing in those later 2 rounds.
Beautiful, probably not the word I would use to explain this workout, but we'll see how things pan out. Underway for the first of our heats for day 2 of competition at the World Fitness Project, the inaugural season for 2025, live here from the Grand Park Sports Campus in Indianapolis.
And it may not be beautiful in the traditional sense in terms of how it might feel towards the end, but I think you can take a look at some of the women and how they're performing this gymnastics complex, and it really is a sight to behold. The transition from, you know, pull-ups to chest to bar pull-ups to bar muscle-ups seamlessly. Hey, for all of us in the gym, that is a beautiful sight to see.
A complex that, speaking to Director of Sport Will Morad, said, grip, grip, grip.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And you know, it's going to be a huge advantage for the athletes like Riley Beebe, center of your screen. She was one of the few women to do the entire gymnastics complex unbroken. So keep your eyes on lane 6 to see if she will be able to replicate that every round, because grip management is important, but being able to go seamlessly from that circular butterfly type motion right into the bar muscle up, which is more of a traditional C-kip, is a huge advantage.
And with a short 10-minute time cap, the rest of the workouts for the rest of the weekend. We've only got a 14-minute next competition day, but this one, manageable if you can get it in around that 8 minutes. The loading not too great on these athletes.
For sure, and I like not being afraid to kind of mix things up a little bit. You're very used to seeing, you know, a consistent weight throughout or an ascending weight with each round, and this is kind of a mixture of both. Hey, 4 rounds it stays the same, but then you got to think a little bit, all right? You got to make sure you remember, hey, there's a longer transition between rounds 4 and 5 for the front squat, and that weight's going to have to go up, so you will have to do a weight change as well.
The blueprints presented by Velitas, some good tips. Tommy's here all day today and tomorrow with some tips. Yesterday's was spot on.
And you know, you mentioned it already, grip management is going to matter, especially with all of those reps piling up on the pull-up rig. And you know, for some of these athletes, if you're not going to go unbroken, sometimes it's better to break up early rather than breaking up often and being forced to by redlining. And the transitions matter, like I just mentioned. You know, you have a little bit different transition for the front squat in the later rounds, and the transition between movements on the pull-up rig is important, especially how you choose to break it up between movements.
The four-time teen games athlete Riley Beebe really setting a good pace. Speaking to Will Morad prior to the competition starting, he said the last barbell feels like a max loaded squat clean.
Oh yeah, and Riley, no stranger to competition. She is one of the handful of former teenage athletes that can say they qualified for 4 teenage games. Remember,
mate, if we get a chance, can you jump into lane number 7 for Jessica Androsic when she gets back to the front squat, please?
And teenage athletes are only eligible for 4 years. That's the competition window. So being able to qualify all 4 is certainly a feather in the cap.
The different standards, as you'd expect from different athletes. Jess Androsic at the bottom of screen, choosing the crisscross grip.
And, you know, that's another element of grip management, right? So in that traditional front squat position, like you would use if you're Olympic lifting, that adds a little bit of extra pressure on the forearms. And that can affect the grip long term. But, you know, it was stated during the briefing that athletes can go for the bodybuilder type front squat.
What about a zombie squat?
Ooh.
Arms out in front.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to see it, surely. But BB dressing the barbell. Are looking really comfortable under that weight.
Really good positions, good upright torso.
The final rep now coming for Riley Beebe.
And that's really something you hope you see from these teen athletes, right? Not only are they fit, right? Like they have the output under control, but the movement quality. You know, Riley has a gymnastics background, moves well on the pull-up bar, good proficient movement, really efficient on the squat, good squat positions. That's what's going to set you up for a nice long career, not just a good career, a healthy career.
We spoke yesterday a little bit about intensity. Workout 1 with a 24-minute time cap. A few athletes really centered and upped that intensity. Workout number 2 was full of intensity. This one, you can't really go out too hot. You're going to burn out too quickly.
Yeah, especially if it requires longer reps, both on the pull-up bar and on the heavier front squat when you have to pull that extra load off of the ground in the later rounds. We're seeing Riley Beebe starting to make a little bit of a break there. She broke it up between the regular pull-ups, the chest to bar, and the bar muscle-ups. So where she was able to just do the entire complex early on. A few more breaks here in the later rounds. And one thing to note, she was resting on top of the pull-up bar. That is allowed.
Riley Beebe, second last barbell. Athletes will have to load their final barbell. The loading for the second last bar, 77 kilos, 170 pounds. A decent-ish sort of weight that the majority of the athletes should be able to get to fairly easily. 6 front squats, the second last bar. Time ticking away pretty quickly, so it's going to get a lot closer to that 10 minutes than a lot of athletes probably expected. I've got another one for you. Do you load your barbell for the final bar now, or do you go back and then load it afterwards?
Ooh, I would do it now. And I guess it can be personal preference. I believe they should, or they're supposed to. But I like getting that little added break on the long walk because it gives you a little extra juice for the pull-up rig, especially for Riley, who has been so proficient throughout this workout so far.
We've spoken a bit about transition time from yesterday as well, and cutting down that transition time. Riley just jogging, wasn't running so much. but wasn't walking either. And I think we will probably see her break this up on this final round and get onto that final barbell at 84 kilos, 185 pounds. Bibi in center screen as Androsic makes her way down to the second last barbell. Jess Androsic, bottom left of screen, back with a crisscross grip for those squats. But still with those elbows in a really good position.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, a little bit shorter levers for Androsic, so maybe it's a little bit better position for her as far as keeping that bar in a good position. And this is why I like, you know, obviously the weight change on the front end, because Riley Bibi comes off that pull-up rig with a little bit of pep in her step, and the last thing you want to think about is, oh, do I got to change the weights? Let me just put my hands on the bar and go. And it's even more important if you do have a close race in your hands.
Bibi getting finished up at 8:43, the first of our Challenger athletes to finish Challenger 3, day 2 of competition here at the World Fitness Project, the inaugural season 2025. Androsic on her way back and trying to maintain that second position. And there is actually a 12-minute time cap, not a 10-minute time cap.
Man, I wish my pull-ups looked like that.
Even for just one. Just getting through those normal pull-ups and the chest to bar. She'll finish off with 4 bar muscle-ups. As athletes make their way down to the final barbell at the end of the Grand Park Sports Campus here in Indianapolis. Androsic finishing up in the 33rd position in the elite division of Wodapalooza. Spoke about it many times yesterday. The testing and proving grounds and giving athletes that springboard into other competitions.
And like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you know, live competition experience is so crucial, so crucial. So even if you can't make it into the elite divisions at something like Wodapalooza, the RX division provides plenty of opportunity.
Androsic finishing in 10:26, unofficial times, of course. It's Saleko. A walk with purpose.
I like that. Has the weight belt over there as well. A little bit of a break.
Grace Lochner. And at this stage, with a little bit of fatigue on board, at barbell feeling pretty heavy.
And Grace came into today ranked 11th, just one spot out of the top.
So Grace heading straight back down, not changing her weights for her final bar. As Lyko finishes at the bottom right of screen.
Guess she just wanted to get on with it.
If you think about time running out and reps to accumulate, if you don't think you're going to finish, leave the bar, head straight back and get some reps done at the pull-up bar.
That's a great point. And in this instance, yeah, it's just more important to maximize your time under the cap.
Vivian Marie Christian doing the last one easily. Anna Represent has only got a few seconds to go, and she is going to run out of time, as are the other 4 athletes on the competition floor. A tough one to start things off for Challenger 3, day 2 of competition. But Riley Bibi, no issue.
talking with her and her dad, she said she loves the upper body pulling, the gymnastics movements. She really showed why.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Do you want me to throw?
3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
An impressive performance. Challenger number 3 in the books for heat number 1. And Riley Beebe doing the job we all hoped and expected. And she's standing by now with Lauren Smith on the competition floor.
Riley, what a way to kick off day number 2. That looked brutal. When you got to your 5th round and your coaching team was screaming, "Run it back!" What went through your mind?
Just thinking, hold on to those front squats. Those were a bigger part of the workout than I thought. Just managing the bar, that's what it really came down to. Yeah.
You've got so much experience, 14 CrossFit Games, you've been to semifinals. How could you lean on that when you're approaching an event like the World Fitness Project?
Just taking like little learning experiences from all of those and putting them into each workout. Even yesterday, like I'm still learning, and I took a few things from then, just putting them into today and the next days.
It's awesome to watch you do your thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Riley. Gaining experience little bits at a time. And you mentioned, Tommy, you can't get that experience from training in a facility anywhere in the world. You need to get that experience on the competition floor.
No doubt, everything from the added intensity that you get on game day to the floor layouts, the transitions, the way the workouts are laid out at these high-level events.
Coaching staff yelling at you.
Oh, yeah, of course, all of that, right? Like, it's the full competition experience, and it's hard to replicate. Like, I would seriously doubt very many gyms have this same footprint available to them to test those transitions and really figure out game plans that work.
As our second challenger heats for challenger 3. Getting ready to come onto the competition floor. And it's been an exciting first tour stop here in Indianapolis. Tour stop 2 coming up in Mesa, Arizona. And we head to Copenhagen in December for the tour finals. Tickets available for both. Make sure you head on down. The competition is just so tight right across the challenger and the pro divisions. And you probably won't get a deeper field than this.
That's what you hope for, right? I mean, it's great to watch athletes run away with it, but also the parity, right? You want to see some athletes fighting for position and not just, you know, letting someone run away with the competition.
Our lane assignments for our second of our challenger heats for challenger 3. And Jennifer Muir in lane 5 from the UK. She is going to be one to watch. Sitting pretty at 195 points on the leaderboard and leading the charge for the challenger division. And challenger 3 proved how tough it was with Riley Beebe taking out that previous heats. This one presented by Velites.
These women will tackle 6 full rounds, starting with a gymnastics complex of 8 pull-ups, 6 chest-to-bar pull-ups, 4 bar muscle-ups. In the rounds 1 through 4, they'll do 8 front squats at a set weight. Round 5, 6 front squats. Round 6, 4 front squats. With those latter 2 rounds, the weight goes up.
Sounds easy. Execution, a little bit more difficult.
The hardest ones always do.
Underway. 12-minute time cap for Challenger 3, Muir there in the maroon pants, black top, and one we are going to keep an eye on. Can she maintain this lead at the top of the Challenger leaderboard? Gallardo in all black. A lot of stalwart down on the far left in lane number 10. But Muir, only a couple of reps remaining for her. One now. That is a very quick start, all unbroken.
And Maribel Gallardo, much like Riley Beebe, one of the only handful of athletes in her heat to go through all three of those gymnastics movements unbroken, without coming down, without resetting.
And best way to strategize a workout such as this, the blueprints presented by Velitas.
Grip management is important. I guess it matters when Velitas is supporting this one for sure, because so much upper body pulling, you need to make sure you don't hit failure with the hands and forearms. And then break early, not often. You see a lot of these women taking a quick break early in this first gymnastics complex just to make sure they don't hit that red line. And then transitions are important. Moving not just from the different movements in the gymnastics complex, but to the barbell each time, especially as you have to traverse the entire floor in the later rounds.
Lane 6 in the blue and black is a youngster, Miley Wade, with a 6th place finish in workout 1 and finishing 1st in workout 2. She had a great day yesterday.
So impressive from the youngest woman in this challenger field. Another accomplished athlete in the teenage divisions.
Alina Karatala and Chloe Carano at the far end in the maroon and black. This weight, challenging without being too difficult.
Yeah, just enough to make you think, you know, as you go to put your hands on the bar. Most of these women, this weight, for at least for a full clean, is usually a warm-up weight, you know, as they work their way up. But
if you go back to Riley Beebe's interview earlier, the only thing she wanted to do was hang on to that barbell. Once it's in position, you've just sort of grit through it.
And I think the rep range programming kind of forces that, right? Like
Jennifer Muir going through her butterfly chest to bars and actually dropping down, lost that rhythm, which potentially could give Miley Wade the opportunity to jump ahead. So grip strength failing early. Karatala is heading to the barbell first. She is in lane 2 in the orange and black. And getting that extension on that clean and those elbows into position, the most important aspect of this. Muir and Wade getting to task. Can we stay here for a little bit, please? Miley Wade with that crisscross grip again. We saw it from Jess Androsik in the previous heat.
Yeah, and it's for some of these athletes, if they're comfortable enough with it, it means you don't have to keep those hands on the barbell. A little bit of tugging on the hands and forearms, which just compounding that fatigue that you get from the pull-up bar.
Sign up now to claim your free pair of World Fitness Project and Velitas limited edition wristbands. These are 2 easy ways to get yours. Scan that QR code. It's going to be a great battle. Muir getting to task, and Miley Wade with 2 great results.
And Miley, one of the athletes that broke up the rig work between each movement from the very first round. So even though she's not going unbroken, she's kept her breaks off of the pull-up bar consistent and able to make up ground as we get into these later rounds in the transitions to the barbell and get right to the front squat.
Alina Karatala has got more than 30 bar muscle-ups in her kit bag, so the grip strength components of Challenger 3 helping her massively. Loves high work gymnastics in workouts such as this. 5 athletes. Chloe Carano to the far right, and Karatala as Norcha Blaker.
Well, Lena's one of the only women in this challenger field with individual experience at the games, making it back in 2022. And I would say she shocked a lot of people as she made it through the last chance qualifier.
One lady we haven't spoken about yet in all pink today, Caitlin Anapolsky, who had a wonderful day finishing in 3rd position on the leaderboard. 4th and a 4th. Consistency is what gets you in that top 3. And a little bit of luck is what keeps you there. Miley Wade on the far left in the blue and black. Jennifer Muir, Caitlin Anapolsky, Norcha Blaker, Lena Kalatala, and Chloe Carano at the far right. So 6 athletes with the opportunity to head down the floor first as judges start making their way down. And it is going to be Anapolsky first, just ahead of Muir and Carano.
She must have heard you.
We saw the struts in the previous heats. Athletes not in that much of a rush to get down the floor. 6:50 on our time. Our 12-minute cap. So just over that halfway point. And we now have a top 4. Karatara dropping off a little. 6 reps required now at this next barbell. The challenger weights 77 kilos, 170 pounds. And Carano just ahead of Muir in transition time. It's like an F1 pit crew. Let's get that heart rate down so we can get these plates on easily. But with the small change plates, it should be an easy change anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. You're not having to take any plates off, swap anything out, you know.
And Norcha Blaker, just at the bottom of the screen, missing one of those front squats. And Carano getting a little bit of a hustle on.
Yeah, and Anapolsky as well, right back to the rig.
I like the little shuffle.
Yeah.
It's not a jog, it's not a run, it's just a moving faster than a walk.
Anapolsky took a little bit more time getting...
Miley Wade, seeing what the other girls were doing, I better get a move on here. 1 barbell remaining and 1 complex. Anapolsky, young versus old. Anapolsky looking great. 34 years of age. Miley Wade at 17.
And really impressive from Miley Wade, holding on through all of the chest to bar pull-ups that round. She's decided to skip the extra breaks she'd been taking in the previous rounds and taking a chance here. You love to see it from the young athlete.
Speaking to one of our challenger male athletes yesterday, Matt Gilpin said he was disappointed in workout 2 because he didn't take enough risks. He's going to take some more today. And Miley Wade taking a big risk. 4 front squats remaining for the youngster. Woo. Finishing first in workout number 2 and finishing first in the second heats of Challenger 3, Miley Wade, Chloe Carano, seconds after. Anapolsky and Muir battling. It is going to be Anapolsky who's going to stay top 3. Muir will stay top 3 as well with that 4th place finish.
And a hat tip to both Carano and Miley Wade there. They were effectively in a dead heat with Anapolsky and Muir. And in going into that last round, they both decided to make a push and rewarded with it. They were able to hold on for longer, didn't catch a no wrap, and really separated themselves. And you know, those are some of the moments where when you take a chance and it pays off, gives you a little bit more freedom, a little bit more fire to, hey, let's do it again.
and more confidence to get out there and have a crack.
Absolutely.
Jeannie Chevary. Looking very comfortable under this final barbell. $84 kilos, or 185 pounds. Nocha Blaker. From the Netherlands, missing her second last squat clean. Previous barbell, this one, no trouble at all.
Looked way better this time around.
Still just over 1 minute on our time cap. Maribel Gallardo, 4 reps to go. Easy does it. Hannah Black and Loz Storwood, our final 2 athletes on the floor. Loz on her way down now. Second in workouts, number 1 yesterday. Coming in 19th position.
And here comes Hannah Black. If they're
Hannah Black, I can't wait for this. It's going to be like an empty barbell squat for Hannah Black. And no rep from Loz Storwood. And time is going to run out for both athletes. Tough for some, very easy for others. And if you've got a little bit of youth on your side, the previous 2 workouts have been right in your wheelhouse.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Impressive from our female challengers who have hit the competition floor for day 2 of the World Fitness Project. The inaugural season for 2025, a great battle down the floor with Miley Wade and Chloe Carano. And standing by, finishing in 9 minutes and 12 seconds, is with Lauren Smith on the sideline.
Chloe, great job, second in the heat. Great way to start day number 2, and a fabulous battle between you and Miley. How did you manage pacing on that workout, especially during that complex into the heavy front squat?
Well, I knew that I was going to break it up right from the start because it's a lot of reps, and I just tried to stick to my game plan and not worry about whoever was next to me, and it worked out.
It certainly did. Still fairly young athlete, 24 years old. You've got lots of experience in some pretty big competitions, TFX, Wadapalooza. How is this comparing?
This is a big competition for me, so I'm just here to learn. Same as all the other ones, get better.
And you're getting better and better. Great to see you out there.
Thank you.
Chloe, great start to competition yesterday, finishing in 9th position. A 3rd place overall is going to do her the world of good. And Chloe Carano learning each and every time. I don't know how many times you've said it, Tommy. Everything's a learning experience.
No doubt, especially when you're able to have some success in the process too. But Riley Beebe getting the workout win there from the earlier heat, and she combined age of 35 years between the top 2 finishers.
4th position.
35 years between Riley Beebe and Miley Wade. Top 2 finishers.
Thank you for that. The 12 years of gymnastics is going to benefit you, and Chloe Carano showing us exactly why. Sorry, buddy, what have you got? Say it again. And challenger 2, the ladies are all done. Our men coming up next. We'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Grand Park Sports Campus, day number 2 of the World Fitness Project 2025, the inaugural season, and the first tour stop of a very busy season for the Challenger and Pro athletes. The ladies in our Challenger division have attacked and completed Challenger number 3. It is now time for the men to hit the competition floor in lane number 1. Results from day 1, yes. Interesting day with our Challenger competition. And both heats getting juggled up. Our lane assignments for our first of 2 heats. Josh Felix in lane 6. Wonder what he thought of his first in-person competition day 1.
I imagine there's some relief, right? You know, you
Yes.
probably build it up in your mind about what it's going to be like, maybe some self-applied pressure, and you know, you walk away, you have a couple of performances on the floor to kind of shake those pre-workout jitters, and you know, hopefully with the goals that he set for himself, he feels confident going into this day.
Challenger 3 up first before we get to Challenger 4 later this afternoon, presented by Velitas.
6 rounds for time with a pull-up complex of 8 pull-ups, 6 chest-to-bars, 4 bar muscle-ups. And then you're going to go through front squats. For the first 4 rounds, it's going to be 8 front squats at a set load. Last 2 rounds, that weight will ascend, and you'll have a longer transition across the floor.
There's Josh Felix in the grey and the headband. Maybe he doesn't have pre-workout jitters or pre-competition jitters because he hasn't been in competition. I don't know. Have to ask him.
That's a good point.
First of our men's Challenger heats. Nick Anapolsky started off red hot in workout number 1 yesterday and maybe went out a little bit too hot. But husband and wife in the same competition in the same division. Love to see it. The blueprint, how to best strategize each workouts, presented by Velitas.
You know, grip management is going to be key. We've seen a lot of these men already take a break during this complex to save the grip long term. And if you're going to break early, it's better that than breaking often late because you hit the red line. And then obviously these transitions are going to adjust as the workout goes along, the transition between movements within the complex and for the full floor traverse you have to do in the later rounds for the front squat.
A leader just out of shots in lane 10, Jack Farlow messing around? I don't think so. He is down to business today. some interesting social media stuff on him overnight.
Yeah, you know, Jack probably isn't in the position that he envisioned for himself. He's in last place coming into today, but, you know, he had a good laugh at himself and threw up a Jack Farlow day 1 highlights that just involved him getting onto the GHD and then running across the finish line. That was it. So, you know, you appreciate the fact that despite a less than ideal performance, he can have a laugh at himself and continue to have a good spirit about it.
Don't take yourself too seriously. I love it. Farlow back to the barbell first, just ahead of Josh Felix. Pietro Andoloni. Lane number 8 is in 3rd position. Felix looking pretty comfortable under that bar. Farlow, look at that squat upright position. Beautiful.
Especially for some of us athletes with some longer levers, the positioning at the bottom of the squat, the feet, the knees, how they track over the toes. That should be a blueprint for all you big athletes on how to squat.
And just by the look of him, he looks light. He's not working too hard on that complex.
Yeah. He's been spending a lot of time working on his conditioning for some of the longer aerobic stuff. I know maybe necessarily didn't show yesterday, but I think the byproduct of that too, typically when you start to focus on some of those elements, your body weight can go down a little bit. And for some of the bigger athletes, it starts to translate in other areas like the gymnastics movements.
Farlow's bar muscle up, minimizing the transition, pulling that body well over the bar before the extension of the triceps. And the intensity piece when you get into a workout such as this, it can creep up on you, and Jack Farlow just seems to be very comfortable in what he's doing. Sign up now to claim your free pair of World Fitness Project and Felita's limited edition wristbands. There are 2 easy ways to get yours. Just scan that QR code on your screen. Thank you, mate. Farlow still leading. Felix Clay in the middle in the white and black. And to the far left, Andaloni. Marceau Pieri on the center of screen now with no shirt on. We're trying to chase down your leader, Jack Farlow.
Just so much power generated through his kip there. You can see how high he's catching up over that bar.
Which is giving him the opportunity to slow down his transitions enough and walk between the pull-up rig and the barbell. Love to see what's going to happen when he goes down to the far end of the arena and picks up that final 2 barbells.
And Jack, one of the stronger athletes in the field as far as the traditional lifts are concerned. And it's kind of, you know, a double feather in the cap for him when he's able to utilize that power and have it translate in that gymnastics kip to make sure he's actually doing less work with the upper body on those bar muscle ups.
There's a good battle in the center of the arena. Troy Clay battling through the last couple of reps as Felix heads his way back to the rig again. Farlow, just simple and easy. Studying biomedical engineering just in his spare time.
Some light reading on the weekends.
Seen him lift some heavy bars in previous competitions, games a couple of years back.
Oh yeah.
Really set the world on fire.
That 400-pound clean and jerk was, whew, a sight to behold for sure.
Very strong Olympic lifting backgrounds. Another of our teen CrossFit Games athletes to compete. Felix, for your first competition, he's going okay.
Yeah. Something tells me that maybe he's not new to competition, even if it's not on the big stage.
On the 585 deadlift, Josh Felix won't have any trouble pulling these 2 barbells from the floor to finish off Challenger 3. Farlow in the background, getting through his last gymnastics complex. Felix done, Clay, last rep for him. Victor Yundal, top of screen, the blue shirt gets finished up as well. 12 minutes on our time cap. As Andaloni picks up the second last barbell. Farlow on his way back now, lane number 10. This is the Jack Farlow we're used to seeing.
And you love to see the little extra sense of urgency on this last transition. He's had no problem with the weight in the previous 5 rounds. No reason to hold back now.
The final 4 reps for Jack Farlow. And doing it easy, 750. All right, just heard unofficial was 750. Official, 749.
That's going to guarantee, I think he has a little bit longer highlight reel for day 2.
Yes. Well, he's got just under 8 minutes now to put into a reel for Instagram tomorrow. But only 1 of 3 workouts for today. We've got workout 4 coming up, which is a 2-parter, 50 points for each component. This one, 100 points.
See Jason Lingerie
sitting with us at breakfast this morning.
Yep.
Making sure he's fueling up for the day. Anapolsky and Yates taking plenty of time. Victor Yundal on the last bar, as is Josh Felix. And Josh trying to beat Victor to the bar, which he does. Felix, good finish from him as well, sub 9 minutes.
And this is doubly good for Jack Farlow, who won this heat because the max shoulder to overhead is going to be a good movement for him. So he's setting himself up nicely to have a great day 2.
Troy Clay, the last reps of the last bar. 102 kilos, 225 for the first barbell, 111. 245 pound for the second, and 120 kilo, 265 for the last. And Aloni and Pieri, the battle of the Italians. Pieri wanted more, and they are nearing that 10-minute mark. We have just on 2 minutes remaining as Johnny Charles finishes up his challenger number 3. Pieri gets in. And Deloney, the final rep for him, and completes. Our final 2 athletes on the competition floor, Robert Yates and also Jason Lingerie, have got plenty of time to get down the floor. Nick Anapolsky onto his bar muscle ups and has finished now the race between the last 3 athletes in our first heat of Challenger 3. Lingerie going, please don't run down the floor.
Man. Yeah, you can see that last set of bar muscle-ups really took it out of them, taking advantage of every step on this longer transition.
Lingerie, the 30-year-old Frenchman. Interesting from Robert Yates, top of the screen, who didn't change his weight plates.
Same with Anapolsky.
But Lingerie did. He'll get first crack at these final 4 reps. 265 pounds, 120 kilos. And the battle, mind over matter. The Lingerie wins the battle and gets under that time cap in about 11:15 unofficial time. Robert Yates in lane 1 is finished up as well, and Anapolsky part of the husband and wife team competing in the Challenger division. Wife Caitlin competing about 15 minutes ago, and Anapolsky gets under the time cap as well. A great result from our Challenger 1 heat for the 3rd workouts of the competition. Farlow, impressive.
Just making it look easy. I mean, front to back, great movement on the pull-up rig.
3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
The first of our Challenger heats in the bag. We have 1 to come. At 7:49, a great time set for our second Challenger heat to come. And a man who had to make a move, and he's done just that, standing by with Lauren Smith.
Jack, what a way to start day number 2, especially after yesterday, which probably wasn't your strongest. How does it feel to come out and absolutely dominate to kick off the next 2 days of competition?
Yeah, well, I thought I could maybe win this weekend, and I found myself in last after day 1. So
Okay,
it's a bit of a shock,
Thank you.
so kind of just throw out the game plan and go as fast as you can, hopefully put up a decent time.
You certainly did. And up next, we're throwing some big weights overhead. Very much your ballpark.
Yeah, I wish it was worth 100 points, but try to get 50 there and then back-to-back another 50 and get into that final heat for tomorrow.
Have you managed to build a little bit of confidence in your own ability just off the back of that?
No, I knew I could do that. I just lost confidence yesterday, so it's coming back up to baseline today.
So glad to hear that, and class to watch you do your thing.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think I've seen a bigger smile when Lauren asked him about the lift coming up later this afternoon.
Oh, she knows. We all know what's coming with Jack.
But that's good. Hey, even the best athletes in the world get a bit of a knockback with confidence. But great to see he's bounced back and on the way back up. 7:49. That is going to be a great time for the athletes in our second challenger heat to try and knock off.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, just the sheer distance between him and second in that heat leads you to believe that it's going to potentially hold up for a top time in this challenger division.
We have our second heats coming onto the floor shortly. But a great day yesterday from Benoit Boulanger, a Canadian, throwing down with Jeff Adler. Doesn't seem to be like a nice thing to be doing regularly.
You know, but it's a good litmus test whenever you're up there at CrossFit Wonderland in Montreal training, you know, with the champ.
And getting coached by Caroline as well.
Because even if you know you're coming close,
you know we're near it.
Even sneaking a win, even if it's in the skill session, then you know that's going to translate well down the line to the other competitions.
Our second of our challenger heats, Roland Goldbaum. What a day he had yesterday. And a great interview as well. Very proud Mexican man.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. Just those little points as you go along competition that really stick out. You know how much it means to the athletes to represent their country or their nation when they are here on the competition floor. And it is a World Fitness Project, and we have got a splattering of nations represented here across our Challenger and Pro divisions. Our lane assignments, Benoit Boulanger in lane 5. Some great results yesterday. Finishing with a third and a second. You don't have to win everything. You just need to stay consistent in that top 5. Ty Jenkins with a great day yesterday as well, with a second and a fourth.
Both of those athletes following that blueprint, Jeremy. Don't need to win everything, just consistency at the top.
Matt Gilpin with a win in workout 1 yesterday, but finishing 7th, not taking enough risks. Are we going to see some risks taken today? Jorge Fernandez with a win in workout 2 yesterday. Through to Magda to the left. There's Ty Jenkins, the youngster.
A pair of teenage games champions side by side.
I like the deep breaths. If you're doing deep breaths now at that young age, you've got a long way to go with those deep breaths. Practice now. But even the best teenage division, obviously the nerves are still there. Second of our Challenger heats. This will finish off Challenger 3. For day 2 of competition here at the World Fitness Project, the Grand Park Sports Campus at Indianapolis. Tour stop number 1. Tour stop 2 coming up, Mesa, Arizona. And the tour finals in Copenhagen in December. Can't wait for those two.
Benoit going unbroken on that first gymnastics set. Maybe trying to hop out to an early lead just to give a little buffer. Very few athletes going unbroken throughout all 5 rounds.
There's another crisscross. Julius Kaiser. Matt Gilpin choosing the conventional. But Benoit. No, Ty Jenkins doing the same with the crossed arms. giving our athletes some options on what they can and are able to do.
No doubt, and for the athletes that choose that, an opportunity to get the hands off of the bar, release the grip just a little bit, and hopefully save some for the work on the pull-up rig instead.
This is probably the position the athletes are going to start breaking it up a little bit. Steven Taillefer, the Frenchman. Taillefer sitting in 9th position, 4th in workout 1, a 17th in workout 2, but still managing to stay inside that top 10. Goldbaum and Max Krieg, 2 athletes yet to hit the barbell. Goldbaum to the far right in the black shirt is now on. Krieg to the far left in lane 9 is on as well. But it is a Steven Taillefer show. Currently, the white shirt. Oh, smooth. So still going unbroken. Cutting down transition time is your key to success, but it does come at a bit of a risk.
And you saw it there on the bar muscle-ups, taking just a little quick second at the top. Athletes are allowed to rest on the bar if they decide, that's what they want to do. A little bit different than, bar muscle-up standards at some other events. But an opportunity to, hey, stay up on the rig, catch a quick breath, and maybe extend your ability to tie these movements together.
Taillefer, 1 rep remaining, all done now, and moves on to the 4th segment of 8 reps. Jorge Fernandez, quick to grab that bar. And Rosmer as well. Loving his position as well with that upright torso. And the load. Not seeming to trouble too many athletes. Tudor in the back. And Taillefer on a mission. Resting just that little bit more now. We're not doing much work up there.
No, just enough to take a quick breath, maybe get a full breath in there at the top.
Giving the option for the athletes to test these workouts 3 weeks out of competition. It's obviously something that you've got to start testing and trying prior to competition if you get the opportunity.
Yeah, and every athlete takes a different approach. Talking to some of the pro women and pro men, and they say, some of them like to test elements of it and not the entire thing because they know it'll be different on game day.
Ariel Lowen, don't test it at all.
Didn't test it at all. Others like to run through it just to feel the transitions and the individual pieces and how they might blend, even just to get a taste.
Taillefer through the first barbell. $111 kilos, 245. Apologies, 102 and 225. We'll get to those heavier barbells once the pros hit the competition floor shortly. Taillefer well out in front. Jorge Fernandez making his way back.
Oh, still staying unbroken. You can see him start to chicken wing a little bit on that last one, though.
But resting those hips on the bar, giving himself a bit of a breather.
And really, if you can just get that first one in, the rest are coming. You get the added momentum generated for that kip in the backswing from your natural body weight coming off the rig. So it really just comes down to that first one for him.
An interesting choice with losing the shirt. You would think you would want to try and dry things out as much as possible with that sweat and a heavy barbell in that rack position.
100%, and you'll even see some athletes, if they do take the shirt off, they will have their chest kind of pre-chalked underneath, just to make sure you don't lose any grip from where that Barbell sits across the chest.
Taylor with 6 reps at the 111 kilos, 245.
Jorge has made up some ground in these last 2 rounds. You know, Talifer was a little bit more labored on the front squat, a little bit more labored on the transition. And assuming if he just tries to stay unbroken, he might take a little bit longer break once he's at the rig. Seems like Jorge's starting to pick up his pace a little bit, whereas Talifer might be going the other direction.
Tell you who is picking up his pace. It is Roland Goldbaum, who is already loading his bar, and he might actually pull ahead of Jorge Fernandez. His last set of squats were ridiculously fast. Jorge just ahead. Now can Roland do something special here? He's moved into third, just ahead of Jack Rosema. Ty Jenkins is in there as well. So a big jump. And is that risk you take in round number 5. Taylor continues. Woo. And the chicken wing really prominent now. Jorge coming quick. 2 to go. Stephen Taylor. Taylor finishing up. And a quick grab of the chalk. And short stabby steps. Roland. Keep your eyes on him. Jack Farlow getting that event win. That is going to boost him considerably on the leaderboard. Battle here for second. Now there is 3 athletes in contention. Jorge Fernandez level pegging with Roland Goldbaum and now Jack Rosema. But the Taylor show continues with 1 rep remaining. Stephen Taylor, the Frenchman, in 8:22 unofficial time. Roland gets ahead of Jorge and Jack, seconds behind. Roland taking a risk, and it does pay off.
Excellent push from Roland at the end there, knowing that he's got a little bit faster cycle rate on the front squat. So if he can just get his hands on the bar, get under that first pull for the clean, he'll be good to go. He's a sneaky strong athlete in this field.
By Jenkins getting finished up as well. Max Krieg, bottom of the screen. Julius Kaiser at the top, who will be finishing up next. And Tudor gets done as well. Our final 2 athletes on the floor. And it is 2 of your athletes in the top 3 on the leaderboard. A shake-up coming. Benoit Boulanger and Matt Gilpin. Gilpin leading workout 1.
That's a good sign for athletes like Tudor and Roldan. And even Jorge, who did well in this event. And hey, even for maybe some shakeups in the heat, Jack Farlow securing himself a workout win.
Jorge in 6th on the leaderboard. Roldan in 7th. Gilpin will be next finished. But second's important, placing's important. And overall, 2 points up for grabs and important as well.
Yeah, every position on this leaderboard earns precious points for that valuable pro card at the end of the season. And just because you're in the challenger division does not mean that it closes the door on earning enough points to get into that pro division, as we still have 2 more stops throughout this calendar year and plenty of opportunity for some of these athletes.
Benoit Boulanger. Still plenty of time for the final 4 front squats. And that bar just way too heavy, and still has 60 seconds. Maybe just gives himself a little bit more time, but doesn't look too comfortable. Now this is a point where you've really got to just wait. You want to finish this under that time cap. Give yourself enough time. We've seen athletes in competition year on year head in too quick. Oh, and those elbows just not getting through. And
see the fatigue from the upper body, just not being able to turn that bar over. And
that left leg causing him a little bit of drama.
Part of it too is like, there's that uncertainty once it starts to creep into your mind. Can I get under this bar? And it can cause some hesitation on actually like firing the elbows and spinning that bar around. Ooh, he's pointing to his leg.
And Benoit Boulanger, unfortunately, not able to get that done. Let's hope it's not too much of an issue for him and he can continue through competition. But Taylor proving the complex unbroken is going to set you up for success.
3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Leaderboard shake-up is coming in the men's challenger division. And Stephen Taylor giving us something of a spectacle in our challenger heat number 2. And standing by on the competition floor with Lauren Smith is the man, the Frenchman. It is Stephen Taylor.
Clémence. Hi, Stephen Taillefer. Great to have you with us. Obviously, my French isn't quite up to scratch, but I would love to know exactly what the World Fitness Project Challenger Division means to you.
Qu'est-ce que ça signifie pour toi d'être présent aujourd'hui au World Fitness Project?
Bah, c'est beaucoup de travail avec les entraîneurs. Donc c'est un peu la consécration de représenter la France et notre salle avec tous les coachs et toutes les personnes avec qui je m'entraîne à longueur d'année.
It years of work with his coach, and to be able to win a hit today is a bite of reward of all of that.
Well, merci beaucoup. Great job out there, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Congratulations, Stephen Taylor. The World Fitness Project is just that. The Frenchman finishing second overall after the 2 challenger heats. Roland Goldbaum jumping into thirds, the Mexican, and Jack Farlow, the Canadian. We've got things happening on the leaderboard for the challenger division. And things are going to get a little bit tighter as we head towards the end of competition tomorrow afternoon. Judah Magda with a good result in 10th as well, and starting to progress up that leaderboard. Do you want me to keep going? Crowd starting to really fill in here to the Grand Park Sports Campus in Indianapolis. Challengers all finished up for Challenger 3. And we'll get our pro men hitting the competition floor shortly. Jay Crouch, the Australian. Bring that on, I tell you. 188 points for Jay Crouch. Jeffrey Adler in second. And what a day for Justin Medeiros.
No doubt. You know, we mentioned last night's broadcast that we're starting to see a little bit more of the Justin we were used to during his title run. I think we're going to get more of that as the weekend goes along, and a strong performance from him. One note there that you saw James Sprague in 7th place. He's actually moved up to the leaderboard after last night, had an appeal for a no rep that he got. His appeal was reviewed and approved, and so got some precious points back. Love to see the process work like it should.
And we've got a good mix of Jason Hopper, Dallin Pepper, James Sprague right in the middle of those standings in the top 10. Chris Ibarra, it was impressive to see him move into that top 10 as well.
Fabián Benito, Valencia, Spain.
Tola Maracanio, Maryland, USA.
Colin Bossart, Bern, Switzerland.
Nick Matthew, Minnesota, United States.
Jonne Koski, Naantali, Finland.
Björgvin Karl Guðmundsson, Hveragerði, Iceland.
Tanner Balaz, Indiana, United States.
Aniol Gai, Zaraut, Spain.
Daniel Camacho, Pamplona, Spain.
Heat number 1 of the Pro Men's Division. And a few athletes in this heat that we're not expected to see. Jeremy Austin, Tommy Marquez, and Gabby Magawa with you. And Gabby, I am amazed with what I saw yesterday. It's great to have you in with us as well to give us a little bit of insight as to what these athletes are feeling. Going into day 2 of competition, how does it feel being in that first heat of the day?
I think they feel so much better compared to previous day because I always struggle with my nerves before the very first event. As soon as that's out of the way, I feel so much calmer and so much more confident. So I think this is what they are doing right now, and this is what they are feeling. They are ready to attack the day, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna show us.
Hopefully they're going to put on a show for us.
That's what I'm hoping for. That's what we all want to see here.
One athlete, make that 2 athletes we really want to see move today. And Yola Kai and Tola Maracanio. Expect some big things from both athletes today. Underway for the first of our Pro Men's Heats. The 3 Spaniards, Camacho, Benito, and Akai sitting in 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's a big day for the Spanish contingent and keen to move to the top heat of the day. Your scoreboard to the right of screen will show the reps remaining.
We already saw a few athletes breaking up the gymnastic early on. This is such a hard test. I feel like because of the front squat and movement itself, you are under tension for such a long time, and you are not getting any rest at all.
No doubt, and what we saw, at least from the challenger men, is that there are multiple ways to slice this, right? We saw Stephen Talfer go unbroken, have a top finish, but the best time came from Jack Farlow, who did a planned break. So really mitigating how much time you're under tension and making sure that you maximize when you're not, as far as recovery is important.
Strategy, the important part of a workout such as this, presented by Velites. It is the blueprints.
With so much pulling on the rig, you got to make sure you manage your grip accordingly. And for some of these athletes, the best strategy is going to be breaking early to avoid having to break much more often on the back end. If you do hit that red line, then the transitions will matter. We've seen some athletes really make a push during these longer transitions in the back end with the front squat.
I think where a lot of athletes were losing time is this transition after the first 4 rounds. Like this long transition on the grass, on the turf, took so long for some of the athletes. And if they can keep the running going and kind of like jump straight to the last barbell, I think that's where you can win the workout.
It's indicative of good pacing, right? You know, and
Anyol Akai needing to make a move, currently sitting in 28th position. Nick Matthew also doing extremely well. He's in the center of the arena with the green and the blue. Janikowski to his right and our left. Blue shirt and the hat on backwards. And the field is so deep with quality competitors, just not used to seeing the first heat of the day with these athletes in it.
No doubt, but that's what you get at a competition with so much talent like this tour stop, right? Is athletes that you used to see at regional and geographical based competitions that aren't necessarily have the global pull, that they're either on top or winning or podiuming. But hey, when you have a field full of podium finishers, there's going to be some surprises.
Sign up now to claim your free pair of World Fitness Project and Felites limited edition wristbands. There are 2 easy ways to get yours. Just scan that QR code on your screen. Anyol Akai. Now, Kat speaking earlier this morning on the Pulse desk show saying that Laura Horvath, an angry Laura, is a dangerous Laura, and I think we're going to see something very similar from Anyol Akai, who really wants to make a move, and he's doing it in pro number 3. Just ahead of Nick Matthew, Nate Ackerman. Nick Matthew. Looks like he's breathing a little bit hard after that one.
Yeah, taking a pretty big breath there and a big break in between the movements.
The athletes with strengths and weaknesses. You might have a strength in the gymnastics side of things. You get to the barbell, you're not as strong. It could be vice versa.
And what was interesting for Nick, he actually took a break in the middle of that chest to bar set. So normally you're seeing athletes at least finish those individual movements, knock out the chest to bars, take a break in between the bar muscle-ups, because that's where the more difficult transition is. But Nick stopping a couple of chest to bars short.
Anyol Akai, Spaniard leading just ahead of Nick Matthew and ahead of Janikowski. BKG coming to the bar and Nate Ackerman.
Oh, Nick making the transition between front squat techniques mid-round.
Anyol already broke the gymnastic twice in the previous round, so I think the fatigue is creeping in slowly.
And even the difference between him and Jona right now, hopping up under the rig. Anyol walked back, hunched over for a bit to take a breath. Kowski immediately up onto the pull-up rig.
Shorter range of movement for Koski. Same with Nick Matthew. Whereas Anyol, on the far left of screen in the white shirt, grey shorts, is...
He was just done with his set of pull-ups. He broke, he did a small break. He did another break after chest to bar.
Going back to our challenger heat number 2. Stephen Taylor for going unbroken on all of his gymnastics movements as Janikowski now leads just ahead of Nick Matthew. Nate Ackerman jumped into third, and Colin Bosshard now ahead of Anyol Akai. Anyol really needs to get a move on here.
Yeah, it's looking like he's starting to fade a little bit. Could have burned out a little bit hot on those first few rounds. Koski, one of the things that he's really improved on his game, or at least I've seen a noticeable improvement. He's never been the strong guy in the field, but being able to move these medium heavy loads for multiple reps, something that's helped keep him in the upper echelons of the sport for such a long time.
Koski and Matthew. 2 leaders loading up their final barbell. The rep counter on screen, counting down to 0, 23 reps remaining. Koski with a quicker load of that barbell and give him a little bit of breathing space.
I love that he's not wasting any time for the transition. He's actually jogging towards the bar.
Nick Matthew doing the same, and Nate Ackerman got the little shuffle on. Koski wasting absolutely no time getting started with the final gymnastics complex.
And, you know, it may have been just surprising to see Koski in 29th after that first workout yesterday. And then, you know, a noticeable improvement in workout number 2. But that was kind of something he was expecting when I talked to him in the check-in process. He said, you know, I'm still shaking off the effects the last 2 weekends of competition. He's like, obviously with the travel coming over here on top of that, he's like, I feel like I'm getting better each day, and I think I just need to get a workout in and shake off some of the effects. And then he's like, I think I'll improve over the weekend, and so far that's been the case.
Koski. Bossard now. This is going to be a race to the finish. Nick Matthew needs to make up some ground, and Nate Ackerman coming through. It is going to be Bossard to pull first from the floor. Speed of squats is going to win the race here. Bossard with 2 reps remaining. Matthew failing, but Colin Bossard, the Swiss master, finishing up in 8:46. Koski only 2 seconds later. That Ackerman with a good result coming in third. Nick Matthew. That failed rep is going to sting a little. Bjorkman Carl Goodmanson in as well. Anjol Akai. And you might have been spot on with that, Tommy. May have just gone out a touch hot, but has finished up. Benito. The last couple of front squats remaining. Benito in 9:48. Sanabalaz. And our final 2 athletes. Tola getting hold of the bar now. Have a look for Tola later this afternoon with that max shoulder to overhead. That is going to be impressive.
No doubt.
I'm curious how much this workout is going to affect the shoulder to overhead.
There's a lot of grip fatigue involved in the complex.
And you need the leg strength for the deep for the shoulder to overhead. So I feel like we might see a couple of fails.
And you think about yesterday with the 3 kilometre or 1.37 mile run, a little bit of leg fatigue there, and then coming into this right now. His left hip still causing him dramas with a torn labrum.
But you know, he's had a great attitude about it. You know, he's so stoked to be here and be in the pro divisions. He understood the limitations of the issue with his hip. He's still out there fighting away.
And speaking with Lauren Smith yesterday, he just said he was so excited to be here and be part of this competition. The time is going to get away from Danny Camacho, and he'll go back after finishing his 4th round of the first barbell.
Yeah, after he was done with the front squat, he just waved to the crowd, and Anjol kind of reminded him, like, hey bro, there's still some work to do.
That's a good training partner right there.
And Danny Camacho finishing up, and the time will beat him. But Colin Bossard, talk about pace and getting it spot on and taking the risks when he needed to.
A great lesson in pacing from Colin Bossard, because let's be honest, it doesn't matter how much you're in the lead throughout the workout, as long as you're in the lead when you cross the finish line, right? Because when this workout started, we saw a ton of jockeying for position. You know, Fabian Benito was out front early, then it was Anjola Kai, then it was Jona Koski and Nick Matthew, all fighting for that top spot overall. But when it came down to the final transition to that last heavy barbell, it was Colin Bossard who was able to make the transition quicker, get his hands on the bar, get underneath it, and earn himself a win.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Great result from Colin Bossard, standing by with Lauren Smith.
Yeah, I didn't try this workout at home, but I knew that I shouldn't start too fast. So I tried to move fast on the exercises, but to slow down a little bit on the transitions.
You represent Switzerland, one of very few men who have on the international stage. How proud does that make you?
Yes, I'm very proud to represent Switzerland in this big stage with the best in the world.
And you're out there to prove it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Colin Bossard, happy to be here. I think everyone's happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
I'm stoked to be here.
Gabby is too.
It's okay.
I know you'd rather be on the competition floor.
It's good motivation though, right?
It is. 8:46 for Colin Bossard, Jona Koski in 8:48, throwing down the gauntlet early. Our second heats of the day in our Pro Men's division coming up. Tour stop number 1 for the World Fitness Project. Indianapolis has set the scene for a very good competition.
Chelsea, Canada. Samuel Quant, Washington, USA.
Jelle Hoste, Izehem, Belgium.
Colton Mertens, Iowa, United States.
Noah Olson, Miami, United States.
Guilherme Malheiros, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Ricky Garrard, Wollongong, Australia.
Victor Hofer, Münster, France.
Roman Krenikov.
Travis Mayer, Georgia, United States.
Our lane assignments for our second of 3 heats for our Pro Men's division. And I know yesterday when Guy came into the broadcast, we got a massive influx from everyone from Brazil. So a big shout out to everyone down there in Brazil. And wherever you're watching right around the globe, welcome to the World Fitness Project Tour Stop number 1. Number of athletes, including Ricky Garrard, who really need to make a move today.
Yes, uncharacteristic performances from Ricky on day number 1. Didn't quite seem like himself, especially in some moments where we're used to seeing him attack. Hopefully able to get a little bit more juice today.
And the man who loves a barbell, Guy Malheiros. Hola Guy, absolutely. Victor Hofer, the gymnastics complex is going to suit him very well.
10 seconds.
Not far away from the start of our second men's heat in the Pro Division. Underway. Don't forget as well in this heats, the wrecking ball, Colton Mertens.
No doubt, I think this is a great opportunity for Colton to continue to move up the leaderboard. He's going to have no problem with the complex. Obviously, tremendously strong squatter.
A great shot from behind the rig. The athletes getting to task. Your scoreboard on the far right-hand side will be the number of reps required to complete pro number 3. Now Olsen wasting no time at all. Colton Mertens pulling alongside, and if there's someone you don't want chasing you, it is definitely Colton Mertens.
And I love that he's right next to Noah Olsen, because Noah Olsen is a man that is unafraid to come out hot and also really attack something like a gymnastics complex.
Now time to beat from Colin Bussard from heat number 1, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Mertens will benefit from that shorter range of movement. Noah Olsen the same. We've got our athletes in lanes 9 and 10, Roman Krenikov and Travis Mayer, two of our taller athletes with a longer range of movement. Our first 4 sets of front squats, 8 reps apiece. Canadian maestro who has been on the scene, seems like an eternity, but still such a wonderful competitor, Patrick Vellner.
No doubt, one of the most decorated men in the sport.
Hoffa getting finished up. So Hoffa's going to have to get to work and attack those front squats a little bit faster. The gymnastics complex is not going to be an issue. Interested to see if he breaks it up at all throughout the entire 6 rounds.
And Colton Mertens just pulled into the lead. He hopped right up onto that pull-up rig while Noah stopped to take a quick break there, opened up the door for Mertens.
Olsen getting finished up with his complex, but opening the door for the wrecking ball to come in and try and mix things up a little bit. This is round number 3. Oh, Hoffa doing it easy. Ricky pulling level with Victor. This is going to be a tight battle as well.
All of these placements are precious points on the leaderboard. I think it's an interesting kind of comparison, you know, Ricky and Victor, because Victor is such a surgeon when it comes to his movement in the gymnastics, and Ricky's more of a shotgun blast.
Now Colton getting to work. I've seen that resting position at the top. Stephen Taylor for in the Challenger division. Going unbroken on all 6 rounds. Mertens doing exactly the same so far.
I mean, looks completely unbothered too. So calm, collected, quick transition. Just enough time to get the belt adjusted and right onto the barbell.
Something you've got to think about as well is having that weight belt and doing a bar muscle up. Is that weight belt going to get caught as you're going through your bar muscle up movements?
Actually, belt makes you, force you to go higher with your pull. So sometimes I find it easier because whenever I get very tired, I tend to be lazy with my pull. And belt reminds me that, okay, if you're gonna make that rep, better pull stronger, pull higher.
I love it.
Self-cueing. Hey, buddy, we're gonna do this instead. Yellow Hosta to the far right with no shirt as Victor Hoffa. Looking pretty good as well. Another very upright squatter.
Good movement all around. It's the background in gymnastics. You really have to drill positions day in and day out.
Mertens finishing now the first 4 rounds of 8 reps. And we've only hit the 5-minute mark.
Every time when we have some sort of squat, he's just destroying the workout.
He was on a mission coming into day one of the World Fitness Project yesterday. Said he wants to cause a bit of a stir, shake things up, and he's doing that.
Calling himself a wrecking ball.
I prefer the nickname that was given to him by WWE superstar Seth Rollins, the Iron Hog.
Oh, the Iron Hog. Yeah, we like that. He has really started to pull away, Colton Mertens. The coach's position just near where we're broadcasting from, and we're hearing some cues from the coaches.
Jelle Hosta making a move.
Mertens is so far ahead. We've just hit 6 minutes, 8 minutes 46. The time from Colin Bossard, and the final complex from Colton Mertens. Noah Olsen getting through those squats very quickly. Change of weight plate for the final squats for all of these athletes as Colton Mertens. You won't find Colton Mertens in heat number 2 come tomorrow. 100 points up for grabs. He wants to take all of it. Oh, just so easy. 7 minutes. Are you kidding? Colton Mertens, 7:04.
Beating the time to beat
by a minute
40.
Oh, that's crazy. The athletes in the second heat, chance to do just that. Travis Mayer, Lemon Krenikov heading back. Jelle Hosta battling with Noah Olsen. Victor Hoffer just starting his complex as well. But it is going to be Noah just ahead of Jelle Hosta. Still well under that time from Colin Bossard from heat number 1. This will be a good result for Noah Olsen.
Still well under the second best time that we've seen so far.
A 16th and a 9th, and a good result of 8:10 for Noah Olsen. Couldn't keep pace with Colton Mertens. Oh. And there's fatigue in one picture.
Ooh, I love this.
This is going to be a good one. Roman, come on.
Victor saw Roman coming up on his 6. Looked to the right, says, I'm going to sprint there too, buddy.
Oh. Victor. Some great squats from Victor Hoffer. And Krenikov comes in as well, 3 seconds back. Costa losing some ground. Oh. Ah, yes, Jelle Hosta. Talk about grit and determination. Those legs, they're not working.
He used everything he had on the squat, had nothing left for the walk.
Travis Mayer just missed out, 1 second behind Jelle Hosta. Guy gets in ahead of Ricky Garrard, ahead of Patrick Vellner. Some very close times. Sam Quant, our final athlete on the floor. Oh, Jelle Hosta, wow. So again, as Sam Quant finishes up, you've just got to take a few more seconds to recover to get underneath that barbell. But Mertens, 7:05 official time. Unbelievable performance from Colton Mertens.
Another exciting race here on workout number 3. A handful of well-known athletes in the space going toe-to-toe, but it was Colton Mertens catching a tailwind on these gymnastics movements and front squats and demolishing the time to beat by over a minute.
When you think about coming back after day 1, you're doing okay, but you know when this workout got released 3 weeks ago that that's what's coming, and you just go, oh, come on, we love that.
Absolutely, and for some athletes like Colton, like Noah, where this fits well into their skill set, you're just excited to see someone hit one out of the park and really set that workout on fire.
Speaking of men called Noah Olsen, he is standing by with Lauren Smith.
Noah, to reiterate the crowd, great job out there. I would love to know from the athlete's perspective, this entire weekend as a whole, how does it feel different?
It has been a very positive atmosphere out here on the floor and even back there in the warm-up area that you guys don't get to see. I think we all as athletes recognize that the World Fitness Project is doing this for us to provide an amazing experience for us, which hopefully translates to an amazing experience for all of you guys. So we're not taking it for granted. We're all super grateful.
For you, you're about to become a dad for the very first time.
Yeah, give it up for that. Woo-woo! That's the most exciting thing about all this.
Does it change, or do you think it will change your approach to how you are on the floor and how you show yourself to the world?
I was saying to Chandler while we were in the corral before the first event yesterday, I realized in that moment that this will be my first individual competition, knowing that I was a dad. When I got home from Rogue in November, that was when Joanne broke the news to me. So it definitely feels different. It feels more special. I want to make my family proud, including our new little guy.
Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. Keep crushing it.
Right back at you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Noah Olsen. Imagine when he gets some dad strength about him.
Oh, man. Watch out.
I'm still waiting for mine to kick in.
You and me both.
Our results from heat number 2 of our pro men's division, 7:05. Is anyone going to touch it? I don't think so. But Noah 1 minute back at 8:09, and Victor Hoffer just getting ahead of Krennikov. Yelahosta getting to the barbell in 3rd position, just not able to cement it. But recovery coming for these athletes. Our final heat of the men's pro division, not far away from hitting the competition floor.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to catch Colton on this one. He went unbroken on the gymnastics complex. He wasn't, you know, sauntering his way over to the barbell every time. He was deliberate, he was intent, and it's going to take something just unreal to be able to catch that.
If you're in this final heat, do you sit there and you go, I'm going to get after that 7:05?
Yeah, I think, especially for the athletes that feel like this is in their wheelhouse, it gives you something palpable to chase, right? Like a time on the board. And even if, you know, you're someone towards the top, if you don't get it, hey, it could still lead you to a top finish.
Heat number 3, ready to head to the competition floor for
Luka Đukić,
Pro 3.
Serbia.
James Sprague, Liberty Lake, United States of America.
Jason Hopper, Greenville, United States.
Justin Medeiros, Boise, United States.
Jay Crouch, Melbourne, Australia.
Jeffrey Adler, Montreal, Canada.
Austin Hatfield, West Virginia, United States.
Dallin Pepper, Florida, United States.
Chandler Smith, San Diego, United States of America.
Chris Hybara, Kansas City, United States.
Athletes hitting the floor. Chandler Smith, what a day yesterday.
Oof.
But the battle currently, Jay Crouch, Jeffrey Adler, Justin Medeiros, your top three. We're used to seeing Justin and Jeffrey at the top of leaderboards. Not so much Jay, but Jay is on a mission. I love seeing what he's doing. It is Pro 3, presented by Velitas.
6 rounds for time. A little gymnastics complex, 8 pull-ups, 6 chest to bar pull-ups, 4 bar muscle-ups. Coupled with some front squats, rounds 1 through 4, they'll do 8 front squats. Then in round 5, it drops down to 6. Round 6, it drops down to 4, but the weights will be increasing on those rounds.
Little gymnastics complex.
Yeah.
Medeiros, just consistent again. We've seen consistency in him in the past. Jay Crouch, the Prince of the Pacific.
How does he respond to being the lead dog here? I love to see it, right?
He loves to get after Jay Crouch, and he would just go to his full capacity. Had a chat to him yesterday afternoon, and he is ready to rumble. Our third and final heats of the Pro Men's Division for Pro 3, Day 2 of the World Fitness Project, live here from Indianapolis at the Grand Park Sports Campus. It's great to have your company wherever you're joining us right around the globe. Jeremy Austin, Tommy Marquez, Gabby Magawa with you. And Gabby, is it a difficult thing to keep your emotion in check when you know you've got to come out fast and you've got to come out hot?
It's very hard to manage. It's so hard to take the risk, even though that's your plan. But it's just so scary when you're out there because you are aware how much how much is on the line and how much you can actually lose. And the leaderboard, you might end up at the end of the day after taking the risk on the wrong side on the leaderboard.
Oh, we don't now want that now, do we? And Jay Crouch breaking again, another one. Same as Nick Matthew, breaking those chest to bars mid-sets. Adler 1 rep ahead of Jay Crouch. But it is very tight. Austin Hatfield now in the lead.
This is a great one for Austin as well.
Hatfield, Adler, Crouch. Hatfield sitting in 4th position. A 7th and a 2nd yesterday, and finds himself only 4 points back from Justin Medeiros. Every point going to be crucial. And Jay pretty specific and particular about barbell placement, giving himself maybe an extra couple of seconds to recover. Chandler Smith, the crisscross arms. A standard that Will Morad said is acceptable and something that's probably going to lessen that fatigue level on your grip strength.
For sure, and you know, Chandler is definitely someone that may not have the best rack position historically, so going to take full advantage of that opportunity to utilize a different technique here.
I've got a question. You've got Colton Mertens at 7:05. Your next best placed is Noah Olsen at 8:09. Do you just leave Colton Mertens time and go, okay, you can have the win? I'm going to just push hard enough, but not redline it to finish higher than Noah Olsen's 8:09. So you've still got that minute buffer.
I think in this heat, the guys are just battling against themselves. They know that Colton is quite far away. He's in the middle of the pack, so his win's not going to affect their score that much on the leaderboard.
With Colton's time at 7:05, the average pace about a minute 10, just over a minute 10 per round. But with that being the pace, you also have to factor in the longer transitions on the later 2 rounds and changing your weight. So for this 4th round here, you want to see them maybe in like the 4:10, 4:15 range, knowing that you're going to lose some time off of that pace, even though you're ahead in these later 2 rounds.
Although going sub 7 would look so much nicer. 6:59, like, it would look so much better.
All right, someone, let's put a 6 in that number. Your scoreboard to the far right of screen will represent how many reps remaining for our athletes. Hatfield and Adler, rep for rep. Crouch coming forward now just ahead of James Sprague, Justin Medeiros. Someone who's been missing from that top 5 in our 3 workouts so far, Dallin Pepper, with some work to do this weekend still. I'm sure we're going to see that when we get to 4B a little bit later on this afternoon.
No doubt. Something tells me that the old King of the Echo bike title might be on the line.
Hatfield up first. He's in lane number 7 to the left of screen. Adler to the right in the black tank top, and Crouch, your current leader.
Oh, Jay is in such a stressful position right now because he knows that the guys next to him, they are chasing him and they are very close on the leaderboard. So to be able to stay in the lead, he needs to beat them, and this is not happening right now. So to manage that situation and not let that affect your mental performance here, it's really important.
Hatfield, the strut down to the second last barbell. Adler in the background. He is coming quick. We know how well Jeffrey Adler can squat. Hatfield. Ooh. And we saw that with Yellow Hosta in the previous heat, just on a little bit too soon.
And I mean, look how quick he reloaded on that. You have to think that maybe he just kind of shorted the second pull phase, because he didn't even let his hands come off the barbell. He just followed it down and was able to rip it.
Sprague making a move into that 3rd position ahead of Jay Crouch as Hatfield rolls on the final segments, the final 4 front squats. Adler into position as Crouch comes to the barbell. Austin Hatfield still in the lead.
And this time here, during the changing the weight, is such a tempting time to take extra rest. And I know it hurts a lot, but you're gonna keep going, keep moving, and finish that.
Hatfield making his way back for the final complex. Adler, now Sprague in 3rd. The battle for 4th continues with Crouch and Medeiros. Hopper, 1 rep to go before he will change his weight plates. Dallin Pepper strolling down to attack his second last barbell. And a man on a mission. Ooh, those side eyes to the barbell. Oof. Hatfield's onto the final 4 bar muscle ups.
See him checking left and right to see if anybody was close by, because at this point, Colton Merton's time has passed, but there's a minute buffer, like you mentioned, for Noah Olson. So as long as he stays ahead of the rest of the pack here, he's got time to secure 2nd.
95 points is going to do wonders for Austin Hatfield, currently sitting in 4th position on 172. Remember, only 4 points out of 3rd place behind Justin Medeiros. Sorry, 96 points. Hatfield, better preparation in getting to that bar and pulling from the floor. Great rack position, Austin Hatfield. 7:49, our 2nd fastest time in the pro division. Adler is going to do the same, sub 8 minutes. Sorry, Gabby, we didn't get a sub 7 for you.
I'm very disappointed.
It'll be up to the girls to do that. Sprague is done. That'll jump him up from 7th position. Medeiros getting ahead of Crouch. Noah Olsen's 8:09 will cement a top 4 spots. Jay Crouch. A good start, trying to stay level with Jeffrey Adler. Bit of damage control for Jay Crouch. Jason Hopper. His chance to finish ahead of our final 4 athletes: Dallin Pepper, Chris O'Bara, Chandler Smith, and Luka Jukic. Hopper is in. Still 3 minutes left. Pepper, such a great progression from those teenage years where he absolutely dominated.
He's the most successful teenage athlete of all time when he made the leap, winning 3 titles.
Chris Ibarra. And Chris is happy already. He's got $100 in his back pocket.
Taken right out of Olivia Kersetter's hands.
4 seconds is 4 seconds. Chandler Smith. He said yesterday in his interview, he's just here to take pictures, have some fun. No squat clean for Chandler Smith. Gets into position, but the squat is easy. Just over 10 minutes for Chandler Smith. And Luka Jukic, our final athlete on the floor.
The situation of worst lift, best lift for Luka today. Front squat, arguably one of his worst lifts, but a little solace in knowing that we're coming back this afternoon with shoulder to overhead, which is his best lift. So an opportunity to rebound for an athlete like Luka, who is in the top 10 coming into today.
And failing his first attempt at the squat clean. Oh, that one looked way better. Elbows nice and high. Oh, the last rep. He's going to take a break. Still got 1 minute. Judge signifying one final rep for Luka Jukic. Crowd on their feet, getting behind. The final athletes, the final heats. There is still time. There is 30 seconds to get this finished. Everyone in the stand behind all the athletes and in front of Luka Jukic on their feet. Urging him for this final rep to bring it home. I like how he's taking all of the time to get this done. Oh, yes, sir. Come on. Paced perfectly to 12 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, at that point too, right? Just got to get under the cap.
But Austin Hatfield, not the fastest time in the men's pro field, but that'll punch him into the top 3.
And early on, we saw a handful of men jump out to the front. Justin Medeiros, Austin Hatfield, Jeffrey Adler, and Hatfield going toe-to-toe for the majority of this, but Austin Hatfield pulling away at the final 2 rounds, able to secure the second best time, but a heat win for this men's top pro heat.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Currently sitting in 4th on the leaderboard. This is going to propel him into the top 3. Austin Hatfield standing by with Lauren Smith.
Austin, the heat win. Can we just go back to that front squat? What happened?
I got a little heavy. May have been pushing my pace a little too much, and then I had to settle down and relax and know I had it. So that was a little, I guess, not a rookie mistake anymore. Can't make those.
Not a rookie anymore. In fact, someone that comes into competition with quite a lot of expectation on your shoulders. In recent times, how do you find you've been handling that? Because you seem to be taking it so well.
I don't really feel pressure. I just think, the training's paying off, so no pressure.
No pressure and some awesome performances. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I'd love to come into a competition with no pressure.
Must be nice.
It must be. Our results from Pro 3 for the 3 men's heats. Colton Mertens at 7:05 with that massive buffer. He could have taken the foot off the pedal easily. But Austin Hatfield in 2nd, Adler in 3rd. That will progress Hatfield into that top 3, and Mertens up the leaderboard as well. Our pro men are finished for Pro 3. Day 2 of competition. Our women coming up next. Welcome back to Day 2 action, the Grand Park Sports Campus. The stage is set for tour stop number 1 at Indianapolis. Jeremy Austin, Tommy Marquez, Gabby Magawa with you, and our women's standings after Day 1 of competition. Danielle, Brandon, probably not what we expected after Day 1.
But I think a lot of people know that Danielle is capable of this type of performance. So seeing her come out and execute the way that she did on Day 1, has to give her a boost today, knowing that, hey, I'm executing the plan to perfection right now, and I get to be in a pretty cool spot at the top of a very talented leaderboard.
And to UK girls, Amy Kringle and Lucy Campbell doing very well on day number 1. Great to see Emma Lawson making her way into the top 10. Coming off a back injury and back into competition, we saw her and also Bethany Flores just taking things a little bit easy with the GHDs yesterday.
Bethany Flores, Texas, United States. Sydney McAlishan, Winnipeg, Canada.
Linda Keesman, Amsterdam, the Netherlands.
Andrea Solberg, Oslo, Norway.
Trista Smith, Kennewick, United States of America.
Ude Lundekvam, Oslo, Norway.
Vår Turmanmo, Oslo, Norway.
Manon Angonez, Chamonix, Belgium.
Paige Semenza, Pittston, United States.
Emily Rethwill, San Diego, USA.
The World Fitness Project's nations represented. We have a number of them, the United States, Canada, Netherlands, Norway and Belgium in this one heats. The Krieger training girls, Uda Vore and also Andrea represented well here. finding a little bit of solace knowing that the longest workout of the weekend, done and dusted yesterday. Let's put that to bed. Let's get some shorter time frames. It is Pro 3 and is presented by Velitas.
Yeah, but in the absence of some longer time frames, we have some really stout gymnastics tests with this 864 pull-up chest to bar muscle up, coupled with those heavy front squats, but they get heavier in rounds 5 and 6.
Athletes preparing. Uda and Vor, lanes next to each other. Are they going to push each other along? We get started for the first of 3 pro women's heats. Our men have gone through. Colton Merton setting the fastest time at 7:05, which is obscene, considering he had another 5 minutes left on the time cap. But best way to strategize this, it is the blueprint presented by Velitas.
With so much upper body pulling, grip management is going to be key for some of the athletes that aren't just going to rip this gymnastics complex unbroken. You can break early to avoid having to break often later due to fatigue. And the transitions matter, especially for these final few rounds when the athletes have to go across the entire floor to that barbell. We've seen a little bit of jockeying for position during those transitions. You can use them to your advantage.
Judges' hands in the air, signifying reps to finish. Uda wasting absolutely no time to head back. Agones. Those wide legs.
A little bit wider grip too, wider legs.
Reduce the range of movement, get a little bit more spring. First time I've seen those legs in position to propel, but moving them in now for the bar muscle up. So interesting strategy from Manon early.
What really matters too is at the end of that kip, the legs ultimately do come together to kind of create that whip and kip. Could be a timing thing sometimes.
Solberg early onto the second barbell. But Agones is the first athlete, and she'll be just about finishing up with her second set of 8 front squats. Very good combo of gymnastics, weightlifting movements from Director of Sport, Will Morad. He did say when we chatted to him on Thursday, he went through a number of iterations when we were testing each of these workouts. And sign up now to claim your free pair of World Fitness Project and Velitas limited edition wristbands. There are 2 easy ways to get yours. Just sign that QR code on screen and get hold of a pair. The Krieger girls, Solberg, Lundekvam and Derman Mo battling it out with Manon Agones. And going back to the blueprint, break early, not often.
Yeah,
what if plan A goes out the window?
Well, that could change depending on the race that you get into. Like we've seen some of these top athletes push each other, most notably Hatfield and Jeff Adler in the top men's heat. But I think in these early rounds, when we still see some tight groupings, it might be a little bit easier to kind of stick to that rep scheme or whatever plan you have set out for you, because what you don't want to happen is ultimately you are forced into a rep scheme or break system because you've hit the red line and because you're under so much fatigue.
Whenever that happened to me, my main rule is to keep moving. I'm trying to stay moving and keep going no matter what. Just accumulating the reps.
Slow reps, better than no reps.
Exactly.
and that's what's interesting about this particular grouping of reps, right? Like, That's certainly all right for the first half of the gymnastics complex, right? But as you add skill and load, just keep moving, becomes so much more difficult, especially in that last barbell, right? When we're seeing athletes almost have it be a max clean under fatigue.
And in general, I think having prepared cues before every workout, that's the key to success. So for example, at the end of the workout, the barbell is very heavy. You are not thinking clearly. So having those cues prepared before workout, they're gonna save you. As simple as breathe, stay tight, pick up the barbell. We saw that in the previous hit with Luka Dukic. All he could do was to tell himself, stay tight, and then the rep was there.
Agones, the first to address the final set of 8 front squats. The European girls making a move. Andrea, Uda and Vore. Trista Smith moving into position in far right of screen in the black shirt, but Agones well in control, the European contingent, leading the charge here in the first of our 3 pro women's heats to start off day 2 of competition at the World Fitness Project. And going into a complex like this, are you going to be very specific where you break, or are you going to go off your body, how you're feeling and what your fatigue levels are?
At the beginning, I would have a specific plan where to break, but then obviously you have to listen to your body and kind of adapt to the situation.
Seen a number of athletes already break mid-chest to bar. Jay Crouch doing that, Nick Matthew doing that for the men.
And there are natural break points, right, between the movements, with the chest, between the chest to bar and the bar muscle up, because for these athletes, you're forced to go from that circular type butterfly style pull up into a more traditional kit motion for the bar muscle up, and generating that kind of power and changing the movement is very difficult for most.
During that time, basically you need to keep your body even tighter. So it's extra energy for that transition. So whenever you are tired, I feel like it's better to just jump down and shake your hands, go back again.
Agones, the first 2, the second last barbell, the Belgian weightlifting champion in 69 kilo class. No problems whatsoever with these loadings. Our scoreboard to the right of screen indicating how many reps remain to 0. And Agones will load up her bar for the final time, head back. A couple of athletes we've seen in the men's pro division come down and just not have enough in the tank.
Yeah, and it's important to look at Andrea Solberg on that last rep, because she actually beat Agones off of the rig to the barbell and through the first set of squats, but the last rep on that previous round was really, really close. Really struggled to get out of that kind of gray area, out of the bottom and before lockout. And for an athlete like Andrea Solberg, who isn't the strongest in the field, particularly below parallel, that could be an indicator of, hey, she might have to hustle on this pull-up bar because she needs extra time in between those 2 movements.
And it's something that's probably going to play on your mind as well. Wow, I nearly missed that last rep. I've got 4 heavier front squats coming.
And you're reminded of it because you're literally putting the weight on yourself.
What a reminder. Solberg in the black and green. Trista Smith is going to be leading the charge for the final barbell. What a move. Andrea and Vore heading down. Agones taking a little bit of extra time, but Trista Smith not having changed her weight plates earlier and now having to hustle a little bit. Does this jack your heart rate a little bit more than you would like?
It's a little bit different style of recovery because you are bent over and there is a little bit of chest compression there. Vor also didn't change her weight, so
Solberg, Trista Smith, this is going to be a tough 4 reps. That one looked a lot better.
And Sydney,
Solberg.
Sydney McLishan in lane 2.
Oh, wow.
Nowhere.
Absolute nowhere. Trista Smith getting in. Vor, Uda, Andrea, and Manon.
That was so
wow. Less than 10 seconds between our top 6 athletes. Sydney McLishan, where did you come from?
It came down to that last barbell.
It was interesting to see that few girls didn't change their weight before, like after the 5th round on the cleans.
Sydney was one of the athletes that changed before and walked right up to that barbell, and I think the confidence in that last barbell, especially if you're walking up, because she was behind the rest of the crew, and you're seeing all of those women take a pause, that can give you a little extra juice of like, hey, here's my chance.
Yeah, here. I got this girl. I was smarter.
The records will show who finishes first as Paige Semenza comes over the line. Linda Casemon is done. Emily Rethwell and Brittany Flores. .45 seconds left on our time cap for the first of our 3 pro women's heats. This is pro number 3. We've got a double banger coming up later this afternoon, 4A and 4B, both worth 50 points. This one worth a full 100. Rathwell done under that 12-minute time cap. Flores, chance on the second last barbell. Again, wonderful to see her back in competition. And having a great time on the floor.
And like we saw in previous heats, at that point, it's just about protecting her low back.
McLishan leading a contingent of 6 athletes, all within 10 seconds.
And it really was a collection of different athletes throughout the entirety of this workout. McLishan all the way in lane number 2, content with kind of hanging towards the middle. She made her charge on the final 2 rounds, and on that last barbell, she made her move, able to get through those final 4 front squats first and steal a heat win.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
A 9:44 finish from the lady who finished ahead of 5 others in under 10 seconds. Sydney McLishan standing by with Lauren Smith.
Sydney, all eyes were on Trista Smith, the Norwegian girls, and suddenly, doing your thing, you came from nowhere, took the heat win. Talk me through how you paced that.
I practiced this one, and I just kind of pretended I was back home in my gym doing my thing. I knew what I was going to do on the gymnastics, and I kind of had my eyes set on the 5th and 6th round. So I knew if I was fresh and I was feeling good, I could attack on those last 2 rounds, and that's what happened. So yeah, happy with how it turned out.
You were a late call-up to the pro division, and you've taken that opportunity with both hands. How do you want to utilize this opportunity in front of you?
I just want to keep working out with the fittest girls in this sport, and every opportunity that I get to be on the floor with them just helps me become a better athlete. So this weekend has been great so far.
We've loved watching you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sydney Mikulishin, great job, 9:44.
Yeah, and she came prepared. She expected the potential of getting moved up, so she practiced all of these workouts at the pro women loads, so she was ready just in case she got the call up.
Heat 2, about to hit the competition floor.
Laura Horvath, Budapest, Hungary.
Annika Greer, Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Sydney Wells, Nashville, United States.
Ella Wilkinson, Wigan, United Kingdom.
Madeline Sturt, Melbourne, Australia.
Emma Thal, Växjö, Sweden.
Lydia Fish, Wisconsin, United States of America.
Danny Spiegel, San Diego, United States. Brooke Wells, Nashville, United States of America.
Lexi Neely, Indiana, United States of America.
Our second heat onto the competition floor, and the first female competitor out, Laura Horvath, not who we expected. She will be in lane number 1, finishing with a 14th and a 20th yesterday. Uncharacteristic.
Yeah, and she's going to have a stout climb up the leaderboard in front of her because she has some very talented women in this heat that are going to push her if she wants to start with a win this Saturday, because keep your eye on lane 10, Lexi Neely. Having a conversation with her at Athlete Check, and I asked her, hey, what's the one you got circled? She's like, I cannot wait for Pro 3. That is right up my wheelhouse.
For some athletes, Colton Merton showing us exactly how to do it. Emma Tall, another of those athletes we're looking to see in that top heats. And a pair of Wells girls in there as well. Good battle either end of the arena.
Little family bragging right
Oh,
there,
big
maybe.
time. Interesting to watch the composure of the athletes getting this close. Second of our 3 pro women's heats. We get started with a gymnastics complex. A number of athletes. It is going to come down to who can pace the best. Sydney Mikulishin doing a great job in heat number 1 to pace, and knowing she could push on those final 2 heats. The blueprint, how best to strategize this event, all thanks to Velitas.
Well, grip management on the rig is going to be huge to make sure you're not resting too much. But if you do have to break, a couple of early breaks could save you in the long run from hitting that red line. And like we saw with Sydney in that last women's heat, the transition to that final barbell matters. These longer transitions at the end of this test certainly can play a factor.
The heaviness of the squat, 77 kilos, 170 pounds for the first barbell. Maddie Sturt up quickly, getting to work. Annika Greer, Laura Horvath. That is going to be a good battle, 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, I mean, Emma Tall in the middle, who has tremendous upper body pulling strength. A lot of women very capable on the rig here. Gonna put a lot more pressure on those final 2 barbells.
I think it's going to be a great race between lane 1 and 2.
I think so, and at the far end of the arena with Lexi nearly in lane 10. Lexi probably at a bit of an advantage as she gets to the barbell just behind the girls in lanes 1 and 2. Is that no one's going to be noticing what she's doing all the way down at that end of the arena.
I think that probably makes it a little bit easier to stick to your plan if you want, and then when you need to, you have a down-the-line shot of everybody Now, normally, you know, athletes like to be in the middle because it's indicative of your overall leaderboard placement with how they rank these, but you can use it to your advantage if need be.
But still, even though you are in the middle, it's hard to notice what's going on. Like usually, all I can see is an athlete on my right side and my left side. That's it.
It is tour stop number 1 here at Indianapolis for the World Fitness Project. Tour stop number 2 coming up next, Mesa, Arizona. Scan that QR code for your tickets. They are now available. Excited to see what tour stop 2 has in store, if this is what tour stop 1 is like.
Oh yeah, building momentum, only gonna get better.
All vying for spots to the final in Copenhagen later on this year in late December. Horvath, far right of screen, your leader for heat number 2, Annika Greer, trying to play catch up. Maddie Sturt now pulling into 3rd position ahead of Emma Tall and Lexi Neely. Laura, Annika, far right of screen, rolling their bars into the final segments of the 77 kilo, 170 pound barbell before they progress down to the competition floor. Annika finishing in 28th position on workout 1 yesterday. Workout 2, so much better, finishing 7th.
Is someone gonna break right now? Laura's going unbroken. What about Annika?
Does that almost, when you're right next to each other, does that almost kind of force your hand a little bit? Like, all right, she went unbroken, now I got you.
Oh yeah, oh it's mind games all the way. You don't want to show that you don't want to show any weaknesses to your opponent.
Laura getting started with her final set of 8 front squats. Annika with a faster cycle rates. Laura taking plenty of time at the top of every rep, taking that breath, everything tight.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Laura seems to be faster on the gymnastic part, but Annika's cycle speed on the barbell is so much better.
We know what Laura Horvath is capable of. And the second day of competition for World Fitness Project Tour Stop 1. Our athletes really need to start moving. Alexi Neely moving into 3rd now, ahead of Maddie Sturtz. A good bounce out, good rack position as well. Annika on the left, Laura on the right. Emma Tall, crossed arms, front squat position. Maybe a little bit more fatigue in those forearms than she was expecting.
Yeah, we really haven't seen any of the women in this heat switch that front rack position. All of them sticking with the more traditional position when you're cleaning. None of the bodybuilder front squats.
Laura Horvath with that very high level upper body pulling strength. Get a little bit of a hustle on.
If you haven't seen the episodes from the World Fitness Project, the signed episodes and all the content they're putting out on YouTube, an excellent video on Laura, and you get a little bit of her background on rock climbing, her own episode of Unbreakable.
Annika starting to rep out quicker now. Annika, wow! Now this last set of the gymnastics complex is going to be epic.
This is so important right now. It's so easy to take too much time changing the weight, so let's see who's going to be faster on this part. This is also part of the workout.
Nearly just ahead of Maddie Sturt as she walks into view to the far right of screen. Now an option Lexi Neely's got, don't change your weights, run back, put some pressure on the other girls. And Annika, an option here. Who is going to break at what position? Laura stopping to pick up some chalk, interesting.
If I would be in the same situation right now, I would just jump exactly what Annika did, just to mess with your opponent's head, that you are able to make a quick transition.
But Laura knows that Annika has got a faster cycle rate on the squats.
So it's a double, it's like kind of almost like a double there, right? Like a double twist.
Laura breaking just before the bar muscle ups. Annika doing the same. Lexi Neely arriving at the rig. Maddie Sturt on her way back. Annika with a faster cycle rate again on those bar muscle ups. It's going to be a mad race to the finish.
Oh.
And Annika's here for it. Sydney Mikulishin's time of 9:44, not in danger. And Annika just slowing her run pace down a little to make sure she gets to that barbell first. She's got a faster cycle rate. She just needs to compose. Annika. And doing it easy, Annika Greer. 8:25. Laura Horvath with the result she needed, the hit back. 8:37. Nearly now is going to wrap up third position in lane number 10.
Strong finish from Lexi Neely. Makes you wonder in that last transition, right? Laura saw Annika getting to the bar, like slowing to the bar. Laura opting to slow too. You wonder if last night's brush with no reps on the barbell and burning too hot maybe kind of tempered her attacking in that moment. Maybe subconsciously, right? If you've gone through a weekend and if you had some costly no reps, you kind of want to avoid it.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna affect her head and her plan to attack the workout for a really long time. I think it's gonna haunt her for a little bit.
Brooke Wells getting finished up in 9 minutes 30 seconds. Just behind Maddie Sturt in 9:18. Sydney Wells with the final rep. She is done. Brooke getting family bragging rights. And there to greet her at the finish line.
But more importantly, I think for Laura, especially, like, if she's able to separate herself from that race specifically and still know that, hey, if this holds up for a top 2, top 3 time, that's an improvement, right? That's what I need. I don't necessarily need to win right this instant to rebuild some confidence. If I'm able to get 96 points, 92 points out of this, that's going to be a big boost regardless.
Emma Tall getting done as Lydia Fish gets to the final barbell. 91 kilos, 200 pounds. Just enough weight to make you second guess. Ella Wilkinson addressing her bar as Lydia Fish finishes up. From Wigan in the north of England, Wilkinson. Sub 11 as Danny Spiegel makes her way to the final barbell. 4 reps and a run over the line to finish. Dispensing with the gymnastics grips. We don't need them anymore.
Nope. Good riddance.
And grip strength, probably something we need to focus on for later on today with the max lift overhead. And Danny Spiegel done. 11:42 underneath that time cap as well. Heat 2 in the books. Annika Greer. She must have read your blueprint.
She doesn't need anything from me as far as this workout strategy is concerned. You go toe-to-toe with Laura Horvath and you win, you're good.
But great battle between the two of them right throughout that 8.5 minutes.
No doubt, and even when, you know, other athletes started to fall out, the spotlight really shone on both of them, and they were going back and forth. Annika pulling ahead on the squats, Laura going a little bit faster on the gymnastics, but on that last transition, Annika able to hold on, get to the finish line first, and a huge boost.
She knows how important that result is.
3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And results falling pretty much the way we thought they would in this second heat at 8:55. One you earmarked, Tommy, is Lexi Neely. She's standing by with Lauren Smith.
Lexi Neely from Fishers, Indiana, a local girl. hang on. Who skipped her graduation to be on the floor today and to finish third in your heat in a workout that you had pinpointed as the workout. But that feels pretty nice.
Yeah, it feels really good. I was excited for this one, so it's a good start today too.
What does it mean to be on this floor in arguably as close to your hometown as we're going to get, with such a big support system behind? How much do you utilize them out on the floor?
It's amazing. I've never competed in person, like close to home, so it's awesome to be able to have all my friends and family here cheering me on.
Nice work out there, guys. Great job, Lexi.
Thank you so much.
Saying she was going to enjoy this one, and she definitely did that, but skipping your graduation, talk about putting your priorities first. That's okay, you can graduate for anything, anytime.
I mean, you got the work done already, right? There's more work to be done here.
Isn't there what? And there is more fitness hitting the competition floor shortly as well. Our final heats of the Pro Women for Pro 3, ready to bring them out.
Olivia Kerstetter, Kansas City, United States.
Emily Rolfe, Vancouver, Canada.
Alex Kazan, Las Vegas, USA. Amy Kringle, Isle of Man, UK.
Daniel Brandon, Florida, USA.
Ariel Lowen, Texas, United States.
Lucy Campbell, Nottingham, UK.
Alexis Raptis, Michigan, United States.
Emma Lawson, Ontario, Canada.
Fisa Yaffe, Jacksonville, USA.
The ladies on to the competition floor for our final heats of the Pro Women's Division for Pro 3. And it is going to be a tight one. Gymnastics versus weightlifting. And some big cheers from our local girl, Alexis Raptis, moving to the region. Getting a big cheer as well. This is Pro 3 presented by Velitas.
Yeah, they have a nice little mixture of some work on the rig, 8 pull-ups, 6 chest to bars, 4 bar muscle-ups, coupled with some front squats, 8 for the first 4 rounds, 6 for round 5, 4 for round 6. Those last 2 barbells getting heavier.
Alex Kazan. Tommy, you're going to probably earmark her.
Great upper body pulling strength.
Your overnight leader after day 1 of competition. Danielle Brandon in lane 5. Lucy Campbell. Great win. Waterpalooza.
Great to see Emma Lawson back in the mix with the top of the sport.
And a steady start, knowing that that time from Annika Greer is out there at 8:25, 12-minute time cap. The leaderboard onto the far right of your screen will reflect reps remaining to 0. We've got some great athletes in this field with some wonderful gymnastics. Fee Sagafi, one of those. Alexis Raptis, who has got some great skill with gymnastics as well as a youngster, but the blueprint presented by Velitas.
Yeah, we're gonna have to manage the grip throughout this event. We see athletes pulling so much throughout the rest of the weekend too, so you also want to mitigate that effect on the rest of the weekend, and you're gonna have to make sure you have good transitions throughout. As we saw with Fee Sagafi, she was in lane 10 all the way off to the side. She took a couple of breaks early. For someone that has such a good cycle rate on the barbell, could potentially avoid having to break much or more often later on.
Just such a happy, joyful competitor, happy to be out on the competition floor at any time.
Yep.
Now you mentioned in your blueprint to break early, not often. Exactly what Fee's doing right now, breaking exactly when she has to minimize the fatigue.
And she can afford to do that, right? Because her cycle rate and the total length of each rep for her is shorter. So when she is working, she's picking up time, so she can afford to take that quick break, knowing that, hey, maybe if I have a little bit extra in the tank in these later 2 rounds, I can go for it.
Kerstetter battling out with Chris Ibarra. Wonder if there's a bet on today for trying to win $100 back.
Double or nothing, maybe?
Exactly. As Kerstetter rolls her bar into the 3rd segment, Raptis to the left, Campbell to the right, Lowen at the back. Ariel Lowen surprising everybody yesterday with pro workout number 2. We shouldn't really be surprised.
No, she's regaining the form that allowed her to make it on the podium at the CrossFit Games.
And if she's gonna go do well in this workout, she might be a new leader.
She's right up there.
Only 12 points back from Danielle Brandon. Things pretty tight at the top of that leaderboard. Amy Kringle in 3rd, back 4 points from Ariel Lowen. Lucy Campbell 24 points out from Amy Kringle. But as we've seen, especially with the Challenger men's division, Jack Farlow getting a workout win. 100 points for him. Happy days. That's going to progress him up that leaderboard.
No doubt. And I love how Fee is sticking to the plan here, because she's still at the front of this heat, despite taking more breaks than her competitors in this heat.
If you think about 6th through 10th on the leaderboard, Alexis Raptis in 134, all the way down to Fee Sagafi in 10th at 129. The 5 points between 5 athletes, things are tight.
Which makes it that much more crucial that if you get a strong performance here, you can make up precious, precious ground.
Kringle moving her bar to the last segment of the 8 front squats. Kazan on the way back. And sign up now to claim your free pair of World Fitness Project and Velitas limited edition wristbands. The 2 easy ways to get yours. Just scan that QR code. Kerstetter with purpose. Getting her hips super high. Minimize the upper body pull. Sagafi and Lowen. Sagafi, lane number 10, just sneaking away down here.
And I think what will be really telling for Fee is how the front squat on the next round looks. Fee not necessarily the strongest athlete in the field, but a good squatter, good positions, very quick in her cycle rate.
Comfortable.
You know, it was something that for the long time when she was trying to make it back to the games was the thing that held her back, her proficiency with the heavy weights. She's really worked on that. She's been very consistent this season.
Maintaining that composure as well under duress.
And I love what she's been doing. She knows she might have a take extra few seconds at the heavy barbell, and even though she's capable of going unbroken or on the complexes, gymnastic complex, she's still dividing them from very beginning.
Very clever strategy with the splits, resting when needed.
She has not broken from the same pace like Gabby mentioned from the outset. Drops down, quick breath, look up, find the bar.
And being on that outside lane, I think makes it easier to focus on yourself. Because
would you prefer that?
It depends on the workout. I think in a workout like this, for sure.
Does it depend on the crowd as well? Does it depend on the situation?
Just the situation.
Okay. Fisa Gafi, second last barbell, 84 kilos, 185 pounds. Ariel Lowen next on as Fee dresses the bar. 6 reps at this loading.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
No problem.
Just easy.
Maybe she's going to even pick up the pace from now on. It's only 1 round left.
6 minutes, 40 seconds down. Annika Greer at 8:25. Our time to beat. Ariel Lowen getting to work. Alex Kazan, Amy Kringle now moving to the bar. Olivia Kerstetter will be next on. Raptis and Brandon Campbell. Lawson coming. Emily Rolfe still finishing up her second last complex. Kringle with a great workout win yesterday. 100 points for her early. Fisa Gafi looking like she is going to get 100 points here. She has got over 1 minute. Again, breaking every strategic set done for all 6 rounds. That's got to be significance in confidence and belief in yourself.
Smart and mature athlete right there.
And she doesn't look that tired. Like, her body language is excellent right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if she's going to go unbroken on the last one. She looks so fresh.
It's got to be annoying for your competitors if you're looking fresh. But Fisa Gafi, the final 4 reps coming up. 91 kilos, 200 pounds on the barbell. And it looks as though, unless she gets a hurry on, that Annika Greer is going to take the overall win. 8:25. Annika has got to be cheering with that. Laura Horvath in second on 8:37. Can Fee get under that 8:37 time? She's going to have to move. She's going to be outside at 8:38. So a 3rd place finish for Fisa Gafi in Pro 3. Lowen, Kazan, Kringle coming now. Another great result. When Ariel Lowen Kazan is done. Kringle, 4 reps are coming. Kerstetter. Campbell, Raptis, Lawson all together. Brandon back as well. Your overnight leader. Kringle currently sitting in 3rd position. 4 points back from Ariel Lowen.
And we've got 4 women pulling the bar off the ground right now. This is an important set of front squats.
And this is where it's hard to run your own race knowing you've got girls left and right. Campbell getting in just after Kerstetter. Lawson is in. Raptis. Brandon, sub 10 as well.
I think you may have been right, Gabby. We might have a new leader.
I told you.
You should see her face right now.
It's like she knows what she's talking about.
It's so satisfying.
Welcome to the world of broadcast. You're not right very often, but when you are, you got to take it.
Thank you for acknowledging that this time.
Game recognized game.
Emily Rolfe still with 90 seconds. And the girls, such close friends and competitors. You've got to put the hammer down when you're out there, but afterwards, as you mentioned yesterday, Gabby, you can be friends afterwards, just not on the floor. Rolfe.
Okay, 1 minute to go.
This is going to be tough for her, but a gutsy performance. I know she's been dealing with a little bit of a back injury that popped up recently. She's on the mend and doing better, but certainly something that's going to be in the back of her mind a little bit.
Third at the Mayhem Classic, 10th at Wadapalooza, 12th at Rogue last year, and finishing on the podium at the CrossFit Games last August, Emily Rolfe. And 30 seconds left for Emily Rolfe to finish the final 4 reps and step over that finish line. I've seen a number of times and potentially may just let this one ride. You got to think forward. And time will beat Emily Rolfe as our third and final heat of our Pro Women's Division finishes up. And a remarkable performance again, Fisa Garfi, who is going to jump from that 10th spot on the leaderboard. Third fastest time overall. Monica Greer getting the fastest, but the management, she's just very clinical with the way she produced that.
No doubt, breaking every set the exact same way on the pull-up rig. No problem on the front squats. Beautiful movement throughout, and even though it wasn't the top overall, she wins the top heat for the women, and another strong performance for Fee.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Monica Greer finishing on top on the Pro 3 workouts, but some remarkable results from a number of athletes. One in particular finishing up just after 9 minutes. Alex Kazan standing by with Lauren Smith.
Alex, you've just looked at me and gone, oh, that was disgusting. Talk me through how you get yourself through workouts that require the grit that did.
For myself, it's really compartmentalizing each part of the workout. So instead of thinking ahead to the round 5 and 6, you're just like, okay, my job right now is 8 pull-ups. My job right now is 6 chest to bar, 4 pull or muscle-ups. My job is 8 front squats. So really just like one thing at a time. And then obviously once you get close, I'm like, okay, just like, you're almost done. The faster you go, the faster you're done. But it's tough. The girls here are really good. I tried to just kind of have my blinders on. At the end, I saw Arielle, and I was kind of like, oh, I should try. And she was just a little quicker than I was, but it was fun. Yeah.
I spoke to your coach, Justin Kotler. Of course, I spoke to him yesterday. And he told me yesterday was a little bit about management, but today, the tiger bites. Is that the case?
I would say so. When the workouts came out, like, it was kind of like, starting today. So I'm really looking forward to that heavy barbell and the events tomorrow. And honestly, just like trusting my fitness in each event. So I'm excited.
We love that you're excited, and we love watching you out there. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys, and thank you, everyone here. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you.
Alex Kazan. She said Arielle was close. Yes, she was 3 seconds ahead and Ariel could potentially move into the lead on the leaderboard. Our results coming for our Pro 3 workouts. And Laura Horvath doing exactly what she needed to do, just behind your leader, Annika Greer. Annika, what a great result from workout 2 yesterday to today as well.
You know, it brings shades back to when Annika first kind of announced herself on the elite scene. Back at Wadapalooza a few years ago, she won a workout there in Miami that had a ton of squatting. It was very similar to a 2-2-3 interval type test. And you know, you flash forward to today, and her career maybe hasn't gone the way that she had hoped, with some bumps along the way. But going toe-to-toe with arguably one of the best women in the sport is a great way to build confidence and prove to yourself that you believe ahead of what's going to be an exciting rest of the season.
Amy Kringle doing well in 8th position. Maddie Sturt in the mix as well. But some girls that we're going to keep an eye on, Fisa Garfi, Alexi Neely, and now Alex Gazan. The leaderboard is going to jumble. The rest of the schedule coming up this afternoon, we are going to get to On the Pulse Live with Derek, Kat, Annie, and Seth shortly. We're back for 4A and 4B, both 50-point workouts, and then On the Pulse to wrap things up for day 2 of competition. Our Challenger 3, our Pro 3 is done for this morning. We are going to be back for Pro 4A and 4B on the competition floor here shortly. But for more action, make sure you head over to On the Pulse. That coming up very soon. We'll see you back here in just a few hours.
Seconds. That's the margin. Strivey shows me the work and what it means. The difference? It's in the data. World class isn't a title, it's a habit. Competing against the best isn't about training harder, it's about tracking smarter.
Kazan for the win. 425 is good, and she takes home the event victory.
Log the work, feel the difference, see the results. Strivey, train smarter.